The truth I am about to share with you is ancient, eternal, and always within your reach. It requires no elaborate ritual, no years of toil, no intricate system of learning. It requires only that you accept a simple revelation, that you are the operant power. You are not separate from the source of abundance, from the wellspring of all that is good. You are one with it, and it lives within you. And with the repetition of just 3 words, sincerely and knowingly, you can awaken that power and unlock the infinite supply that has always been yours. These 3 words are not magical in themselves. Their power is not in the sound or syllables, but in the consciousness that gives them life. When you speak them with awareness, when you feel them with conviction, they impress the subconscious, and from that inner impression springs forth a world to match. The outer world, after all, is nothing more than the mirror of your inner speech. Money, wealth, prosperity, these are not outside of you, waiting to be earned by struggle or acquired through luck. They are reflections, outpicturings, shadows of the state you occupy. If you would like to see the effortless flow of money, you must first occupy the state where money flows to you easily and naturally. You must become in imagination that which you desire to be, and persist in that feeling until it hardens into fact. You may ask, what are these 3 words? They are simple, and yet they carry the power of transformation. The words are, it is done. Say them now. It is done. Feel what happens when you speak them with conviction. Feel how your body reacts, how your breath shifts, how your mind begins to settle. It is done. Not it will be, not I hope it happens, not someday, but now, present, finished, fulfilled. When you repeat it is done, you are not begging the universe. You are not pleading with a power outside of yourself. You are declaring that the thing you desire is already yours. You are impressing upon the subconscious mind, which is the womb of creation, the finality of your desire. And because your subconscious is impersonal and creative, it brings to pass what is impressed upon it with feeling and repetition. All things exist. Every state of consciousness already is. There is nothing to create, only to select. You are like a radio receiver, tuning into the station of wealth. The station exists whether you tune in or not. But when you repeat it is done, you are tuning the dial of your consciousness to the frequency where money flows. And once you are tuned, the signal, that is, the manifestation, begins to play through your life. Do not be deceived by appearances. The world may show you bank statements with low balances, bills that pile up, opportunities that seem to slip away. But these are only the shadows of a previous state, the residue of past inner talking. The moment you say and mean, it is done, you shift your state, and a new shadow begins to form. The bridge of incidents will unfold, naturally and effortlessly, to take you from where you are to the fulfillment of your assumption. The key is persistence. Not persistence in effort, but persistence in assumption. You must hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and repeat to yourself day and night, it is done. When you wake in the morning, before you look at your phone, before you open your eyes to the world, say softly but firmly, it is done. Feel the inner assurance that money is flowing to you now. Feel the joy, the relief, the certainty. Carry that feeling into your day like a sacred fire. When doubts arise, and they may, do not fight them. Simply return to your 3 words. It is done. Let them be your anchor. Let them remind you that what you are seeking is already within. That you are not manifesting money, you are aligning with the state where money is already yours. I once knew a man who was plagued by financial difficulty. Every month was a struggle. He tried affirmations, he tried visualizations, but nothing seemed to work, until he discovered the power of these 3 words. He began to live in the state of, it is done. He would look at his empty wallet and say, it is done. He would open his mailbox to find more bills and whisper, it is done. Not with frustration, not with sarcasm, but with an inner knowing that these appearances were fading echoes of a state he had left behind. Within weeks, his circumstances began to change. A friend repaid a loan he had forgotten about. A new client arrived out of nowhere. He was offered a business opportunity that doubled his income. What had changed? Not the world, but his state of being. He had entered into the assumption that money was his already, and repeated that assumption until the world conformed. This is not superstition. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual law, the same law that governs the rising and setting of the sun, the same law that brings spring after winter. It is immutable. It does not care who you are, what you have done, or where you come from. It responds to belief, to feeling, to repetition. The words "it is done" are a key, but you must turn the key with feeling. You must enter the door they open. You must not be like those who speak words but do not live the state, who repeat affirmations but deny them in feeling. You cannot say "it is done" and then worry about the how. You cannot say "it is done" and then count the minutes until it arrives. These things betray your doubt. They reveal that you are still living in the state of lack. Instead, you must make "it is done" your new dwelling place. You must live there, sleep there, walk there, breathe there. What would you feel if you knew your bank account was full? What would you feel if checks were arriving in the mail? Clients were calling, unexpected money was showing up. That feeling, not the outer condition, is what creates the flow. And you can summon that feeling now by simply saying, "It is done." Close your eyes. Take a breath. Imagine the scene that would imply your wish fulfilled, and then say, "It is done." Do not be concerned with whether it is real. All reality is imagined. Everything you now see was once invisible. The house you live in was once a thought. The money you hold was once an idea. All things are birthed in imagination, and imagination is the only reality. When you say "it is done," you plant a seed in that fertile soil. Water it with belief, shine upon it with feeling, and allow it to grow without digging it up to see if it's working. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you say "it is done," you are acting in faith, and that faith is the evidence that your world must conform. The universe is not random. It is obedient. It moves in harmony with your assumptions. So do not delay. Do not wait for proof before you believe. Believe and you will see. Say "it is done," and you will see that it is. There is no effort in divine creation. There is only flow. The same river that carries water to the ocean does not strain or struggle. It moves because of the laws of nature, and the law of assumption is no different. When you enter the state of "it is done," the current begins to move. Money flows. Opportunities arise. Ideas come, and they come not from hard work or desperation, but from the ease of alignment. The greatest lie you have ever been told is that you must strive to earn abundance, that you must suffer to be worthy of wealth, that you must prove yourself to some invisible judge. This is not true. You are worthy now. You are enough now. And the moment you say "it is done" with conviction, the heavens begin to open. The old man, the man of fear, of doubt, of struggle, must die, and in his place the new man is born. The man who knows, who assumes, who rests in the finished work. Let that new man be you. Let the old patterns fall away. Let the old beliefs dissolve like mist in the morning sun. And let the words "it is done" become your new prayer, your new affirmation, your new song. Sing it in silence. Whisper it in secret. Proclaim it in stillness. And do not look to others for confirmation. The world is yourself pushed out. Others are only reflecting your inner state. If you persist in the assumption that it is done, they will echo that truth. But you must not waver. You must not wait for them to believe before you do. You are the cause. You are the root. You are the one who sets the wheel in motion. When you lie down to sleep, let "it is done" be your lullaby. Feel the money in your hand. Feel the freedom in your chest. Feel the joy in your heart. And let that feeling carry you into sleep. For sleep is the door to the subconscious, and what you carry into sleep is planted most deeply. Let this be your practice. Wake with the words "it is done." Move through the day with those words like a secret power in your chest. Sleep with those words on your tongue. And do not judge by the evidence of the senses. Your senses are late to the party. They only report what the mind has long since accepted. If you desire new evidence, you must accept a new truth. Now, not later. I have seen miracles unfold in the lives of those who live this truth. I have seen bankruptcies reversed, debts paid off, fortunes built, not through striving but through faith, through inner movement, through assumption. And all of them began with the same three words: "It is done." You do not need to know how. That is not your work. Your only work is to believe it is already so, that you already are the wealthy man, the abundant woman, the prosperous soul. And when you live from that belief, not try to get to it but live from it, the money will come. not because you chased it, but because you became the version of yourself to whom money is drawn. Say it again. It is done. Let that be your answer to every question, your solution to every problem, your reply to every doubt. It is done, and it will be, not because the world made it so, but because you did. You imagined it, you accepted it, you assumed it, and the world had no choice but to follow. So go now, and speak your 3 words with authority. Let them become the rhythm of your life. Let them fill the silence of your mind. Let them carve a new path before you. And soon, without effort, without delay, you will find yourself living in a world where money flows, not as a reward but as a reflection, because you have spoken the truth. It is done. Say it again. It is done. Whisper it while walking. Murmur it in the stillness of the evening. Repeat it mentally as you gaze into the mirror, not as a command to the world but as a declaration to yourself. For when you believe that it is done, you change the vibration of your being, and that vibration becomes magnetic. It draws unto itself the very essence of what you have claimed. You become like a lodestone, attracting wealth not because you chase it but because you are in resonance with it. It is not about shouting louder or visualizing harder. It is about sinking into the reality of it already being so. To say it is done is to cut off the old man, the old story, the old waiting. You are no longer standing outside the temple of riches hoping to be let in. You are inside, seated, knowing the feast has already begun. The act of repetition is not mindless. It is sacred. It is how the seed is watered. With each it is done, you affirm not only the end but the surrender to that end. You relinquish the effort, and in that relinquishing the miracle is made manifest. Walk into the world tomorrow with your head high and your heart full. Not because circumstances changed, but because you did. You became the one who knows, the one who lives from the state where money flows. Not to chase it, but to live in alignment with it. It is done is not the beginning of a process. It is the end of doubt. It is the terminus of confusion and fear. It is the anchor that holds you steady as the storm of the old reality passes by. The beauty of this truth is that it asks nothing of you but belief. You don't need the approval of others. You don't need credentials or connections. You don't need to strive in pain. All you need is the willingness to step into the unseen and call it real. Say it is done, and feel the echo ring through the depths of your subconscious. That echo will touch every particle of your being. It will seep into your cells, shift your energy, and emit a new signal to the field of infinite possibilities. You may notice subtle signs at first. A discount here, a kind word there, a small unexpected amount of money appearing. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Do not ignore them. Do not belittle them. Celebrate them. For they are the fingerprints of the unseen, the breadcrumbs of the universe letting you know, yes, you are aligned. And yes, more is coming. Say again, it is done. And with that, open the door wider. Money is energy, and energy is obedient. It flows to that which invites it. It is not attracted to lack, to doubt, to fear. It is attracted to ease, confidence, joy, and knowing. It rushes to the one who expects it, to the one who, even before seeing a single dollar, walks with the posture of wealth, to the one who says, it is done, and then acts as though it is. That action need not be dramatic. It can be as simple as breathing differently, walking slower, choosing generosity in a moment when you used to choose fear. These are the outer expressions of the inner truth you have accepted. Even in the silence, say it again. Let it become a hum beneath your thoughts. Let it permeate your being until you no longer need to say it aloud, because your very existence will be shouting it. Others will look at you and feel something has changed. They won't know what it is, but they'll feel it. Your vibration will be undeniable, and the money will come in so naturally, so consistently, that you'll smile remembering the days you used to wonder if it was possible. Keep going. Keep returning to the words. When you doubt, say them. When you rejoice, say them. When you spend, say them. When you give, say them. Let it is done be your constant companion, your quiet power, your eternal agreement with the universe. Let these words replace the old inner dialogue, the fear, the worry, the lack. Let them dissolve every story you've ever told yourself about being unworthy or incapable. Let them heal the past and reframe the present. Let them guide your future without resistance. You may be tempted to measure progress by what you see. Do not measure progress by what you feel. Are you calmer? Are you more trusting? Are you smiling at things you used to worry about? That is movement. That is alignment. That is a sign that the state is changing. And when the state changes, the world must conform. There will come a day, soon if you persist, when you will look around and realize you are living in the exact scene you once imagined. You will walk into rooms you once only saw in your dreams. You will hold the physical manifestation of wealth in your hands, and you will remember when it was just a feeling, just an idea, and you will smile, knowing that the words "it is done" were never just words, they were truth. But even then, do not stop saying them, for life is a continual unfolding of desire, fulfillment and more desire. Each fulfilled state opens the door to greater expansion. Say "it is done" again. Not because you are lacking but because you are growing. Let it be your song of creation. Let it be the rhythm of your dance with the infinite. And if ever you find yourself slipping, if fear creeps back in, if appearances seem daunting, if the world begins to shout the old story again, be still, return to yourself, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and softly, reverently, declare once more, "It is done." Let it ring through your inner world. Let it break every chain. Let it silence every lie. Let it rise from your heart like a commandment from heaven. Say it as if it were the final word, the only truth, the supreme decree of your soul, because it is. Because when you say "it is done," you are no longer seeking, you are no longer trying, you are no longer postponing your miracle. You are claiming it, and in the claiming, it is yours. You are no longer the person who waits. You are the one who is. Your world begins to mirror this internal transformation with precision. The job offer comes effortlessly. The investment opportunity appears out of nowhere. The client calls unexpectedly. The bills get paid before you even check the due dates. Not because you forced anything, but because you aligned. You assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And you repeated the sacred declaration, "It is done." Each repetition reinforced the foundation of your new reality. Not a hope, not a possibility, a fact. And you didn't need to convince anyone else. The world doesn't respond to your explanations. It responds to your embodiment. It responds to your state. The law is always operating. And the moment you impress upon your subconscious that your financial desire is fulfilled, that it is finished, the outer world rearranges itself without resistance. You might still hear others around you speaking of lack. You might still see headlines filled with fear. But none of that has power over you, unless you consent to it. You've withdrawn your attention from the old and given your loyalty to the new. That is the greatest discipline. To be loyal to the unseen over the seen. To say "it is done," even when nothing around you yet confirms it. That is true faith. And that is the key to manifestation. Money is not earned by toil alone. It is magnetized by consciousness. There are people who work tirelessly and see little return. There are others who act from inspired ease and are met with abundance. The difference is not effort. It is state. When you change your concept of self, when you assume the identity of the one who already possesses what they seek, the world has no choice but to mirror it. Do not confuse persistence with struggle. To persist in an assumption is not to strain or push. It is to quietly hold the end, regardless of appearances. To return again and again to the truth. It is done. This is how you become the master of your inner world. This is how you rewrite the script. Not by force but by faith. If you've ever doubted your worthiness, hear this. Wealth is your birthright. Abundance is your natural state. The very fact that you can imagine a life of freedom, of overflow, of ease, that alone is proof that it exists for you. You could not desire what you were not meant to receive. Desire is the whisper of the divine, the invitation to realize your power, and you answer that invitation with 3 words. It is done. Some may ask, how can it be done if I do not see it yet? But understand, all things are created first in consciousness. The seen is only the echo of the unseen. Do not be deceived by time. Time is not your enemy. It is your servant. It will deliver to you the harvest of your assumptions, without fail. And the moment you assume it is done, time begins its sacred work of aligning all necessary conditions to reflect your new state. So speak the words without hesitation. Say them with the confidence of one who knows the outcome is secure. Let them become your inner rhythm. Let them shape your days and guide your nights. Say them as you fall asleep, letting the subconscious mind absorb their meaning. Say them when you wake, before the old thoughts try to reclaim your attention. Let every breath, every glance, every quiet moment be laced with the silent knowing. It is done.
and in doing so you shift the very fabric of your life. You move from hoping to knowing, from wishing to being. You take your place in the seat of the Creator and decree your reality. The law cannot be broken. The world must reflect back the story you persistently tell within. So when the money appears, and it will, do not be surprised. You called it forth not with begging, not with strain, but with faith. You no longer needed to chase. You allowed yourself to receive. You became the version of yourself who already had it. And thus it had no choice but to appear. And yet even in the abundance, you continue to declare it is done. Because creation is not a one-time event. Life continues to unfold. New desires arise. New dreams form. But the principle remains the same. The law does not change. It simply awaits your next assumption, your next inner decree. And the process begins again. Easy, natural, inevitable. Others may wonder how you do it. They'll ask for your strategy, your plan, your secret, and you'll smile. Because you know, it was never about the plan. It was never about the hustle. It was about the inner work. The silent sovereign decision to feel it done. And to repeat those 3 sacred words until they became your identity. The riches of the world respond to the richness of your inner self. When your mind is rich with the feeling of already having, your life must follow. You are not manipulating external things. You are harmonizing with them. You are entering the vibration where they already exist. You are matching your energy to the frequency of fulfillment. And the moment you do that, truly do that, you become unstoppable. Because there is no power greater than the consciousness that knows its own creative ability. No obstacle can withstand the one who lives from the end. No limitation can remain in the face of persistent assumption. The outer world may try to distract you. It may show you delay. But delay is not denial. It is only the space between planting and harvest. Do not dig up the seed with doubt. Water it with repetition. Nourish it with feeling. And trust that the result is on its way. The universe is never late. It is precise. It is mathematical. It is obedient to the feeling you occupy. So stay there. Stay in the knowing. Stay in the peace that comes from certainty. And when the old self tries to return, when fear knocks, when anxiety whispers, return to the power of your words. Declare again. It is done. You are not asking. You are not pleading. You are claiming. You are receiving. You are stepping into the reality that was always available. But now it is yours by right of consciousness. This is the mystery revealed. This is the truth hidden in plain sight. And it is yours now, as you stand now on the threshold of your new reality. Remember this: the power to manifest wealth, to draw money effortlessly into your life, lies not in external circumstances, but within the sacred 3 words you hold in your heart. It is done. These words are not mere sounds. They are the blueprint of creation itself. The key that unlocks the floodgates of abundance. When you repeat them with unwavering faith, you align your being with the infinite source. And money flows not as a struggle or chase, but as a natural expression of who you have become. So claim this truth boldly, and without hesitation. Walk through life as the master of your inner world, the creator who knows beyond doubt that their desire is fulfilled. Let nothing shake your certainty. No setback, no delay, no doubt can stand against the force of your persistent assumption. The universe conspires with those who live from the end. And when you do, you step into a life of effortless wealth and limitless possibility. The moment is now. Say it with conviction. Live it with confidence. And watch as the invisible becomes visible. The impossible becomes inevitable. And your life is transformed by the simple, profound power of these 3 words. It is done.
I want you to listen closely, not with your outer ears, but with the ear of understanding. Let the words I speak tonight not just reach your intellect, but penetrate the deep stillness of your inner being. For I speak now not to your mortal self, but to the immortal I Am that dwells in you, the creative, eternal power which is God. The world calls it wishful thinking, but I tell you to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way of all creation. It is the law, the only law there is. Everything else is shadow play. What you see around you, the bills, the empty wallet, the humble apartment, the old clothes, these are but outer effects of inner causes. The world reflects what you imagine and believe to be true. Therefore, if you truly dare to say within yourself, I am a millionaire this month, and believe it, then you have already set the wheels in motion. You are now walking the bridge of incidents to its fulfillment. Let no man, no outer circumstance, rob you of the truth that I am is the name of God, and God cannot be mocked. Whatever you declare with the inner voice of conviction, with the knowing that it is so, shall be made manifest in your world. The promise is eternal. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Do not pray and then doubt. Do not affirm and then look anxiously at the clock. Creation is finished. All that you desire already exists in a higher dimension, waiting for your assumption to call it forth into this one. You are not to question how it will happen, nor trouble yourself with the outer means. That is not your domain. Your work is singular, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and to live from it. When you say, I am a millionaire this month, say it not as one pleading to be, but as one who already is. Walk through your days as if it were already true, and the universe will rush to rearrange itself around that truth. But you must not play with it. You must not say, I am one moment, and I wish I could be the next. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Your assumption must be so consistent, so natural, that it feels as though it has always been true. When you rise in the morning, dress as one who has already received. When you speak, speak with the calm authority of one who knows their wealth is secure. When you eat, do so with the ease and confidence of one who knows that abundance surrounds them. This is not fantasy. This is not delusion. This is creation, conscious, deliberate, and lawful. The world was created by imagination, and it will always respond to imagination. There is no other creator but God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you imagine yourself into a state and persist in it, you are praying in the only manner that works. Let the old self die, the self who waits, who hopes, who begs. Let that man be crucified, and let the new self rise, the one who knows I am a millionaire this month. Feel the richness, not as a hope, but as your current reality. Every night as you prepare to sleep, enter into that feeling. Let your final thoughts before sleep be the joy of your success. Feel the softness of fine linen. Hear the words of congratulations. Smell the leather of the new car. Taste the fruits of luxury. Engage all your senses in that imagined reality until it feels more real than the outer world. This month, not some distant future. Why this month? Because time is only a construct of the mind. The difference between now and then is only the difference in assumption. There is no power outside of you delaying your manifestation. There is only your own hesitation to fully believe that it is done. You say, but I don't see the money yet. And I say to you, you don't need to see it to know it. For we walk by faith and not by sight. Your senses lie. They show you the past. They are echoes, not truth. Truth is what you decree it to be. Do not serve your senses. Let them serve you. The outer world will bend to your inner conviction, for the outer is but a shadow of the inner light. You are not to fight the shadow. You are to change the light, the image, and the shadow will transform on its own. So this month, this very month, I declare that I am a millionaire, and in saying it, I invite you to join me. Let it be your daily meditation. Let it be the breath you breathe. Do not say it with doubt or fear, but with the authority of one who has awakened. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place of clouds and harps, but of conscious creation. You are the operant power. You are the one who commands. Let there be, and it is so. When I say I am, I speak the name of God, not Jehovah of ancient tongues, not some distant deity, but the I am within me, the still small voice, the awareness of being, that is God. And what you attach to I am you create. So do not attach sickness, do not attach lack, do not attach waiting. Attach only what you desire, and do so boldly. If the world calls you mad, rejoice. For it is written, God chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. The world believes only what it can touch and see. But you are not of this world. You are from above. You are spirit, clothed in flesh, but not bound by it. Your power is in consciousness. So live now as if it were done. Say to yourself each morning, thank you, Father, that it is already so. Say it with joy, with reverence, with confidence. When the doubts arise, and they will, do not feed them. Starve them. Return to your assumption. Walk in the feeling. Let it possess you. Let it inform every thought, every gesture, every breath. You are not trying to become a millionaire. You already are, in this very moment, because you have assumed the state. The law does not fail. It is as certain as gravity. But unlike gravity, it works only when you operate it. It does not impose itself upon you. It waits for your command. And once you command, it responds. The story is told of Moses, who asked God, "What is your name?" And God replied, "I am that I am. Not I will be, not I hope to be, but I am." This is the eternal truth, that what you declare I am to be, so shall it become. So let this be your declaration. I am a millionaire this month. Say it until you no longer need to say it, until the feeling saturates your being. Forget how, forget when, forget all outer considerations. Your work is within. Your responsibility is to assume and persist. Do not be shaken by what others say. The opinions of the world are powerless, unless you give them power. Do not bow to circumstances. Circumstances are but the reflections of your prior thoughts. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the author of your destiny. So rise in consciousness. Live in the end. Dwell in the reality of your fulfilled desire. See yourself in your new home. Feel the wealth in your bank account. Hear the laughter of your loved ones as they celebrate your success. Do not wait for the evidence. Be the cause of the evidence. I tell you this because I have lived it. I have seen men and women transform their entire lives by nothing more than a change in consciousness. I have seen beggars become princes. I have seen the ill rise from their beds. I have seen the desperate become divine, and all by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You do not need credentials. You do not need connections. You do not need to beg or scheme. All you need is the capacity to imagine, and the courage to believe. For belief is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And if you falter, return to the inner sanctuary. Return to that secret place within where your I am resides. Close the door to the world. Enter the silence, and there declare again, I am a millionaire this month. Say it softly. Say it boldly. Say it until your bones vibrate with the truth of it. And watch as the outer world reshapes itself. Watch as miracles unfold, not by magic, but by law. Watch as you are guided, inspired, led to the people, the places, the opportunities that align with your new state. Watch as old limitations dissolve and new paths appear. This is the art of prayer. This is the science of manifestation. This is the secret that sages have guarded for centuries. That God is your own wonderful human imagination, and that what you dare to assume, you bring into being. So now, my friend, assume it, not next month, not someday, but now. This month. Let July be the month that the world sees what you've already known within. Let it be the month your inner conviction becomes outer fact. Let it be the month you say not I will be, but I am. And remember this always. Feeling is the secret. Persist in the feeling. Dwell in the mood. Sleep in the assumption. And when you rise, let the world marvel. For they will not know the inner act that preceded the outer change. You will know, and in knowing, you will be free. They will see the money in your hands, the house with golden handles, the car that glides like a whisper, and they will say, how did it happen? And you will smile, not with pride, but with the quiet knowing of one who has seen the unseen. For you will understand that it did not come from effort alone, nor from toil or striving, but from a sacred act of assumption. You dared to believe, and that belief clothed itself in flesh. You see, creation does not respond to the noise of the outer world. It responds to the stillness of the inner vision. When you assumed with full conviction, I am a millionaire this month, all of heaven moved to fulfill that word. Invisible hands rearranged visible things. Conversations shifted. Doors opened. Checks arrived. Ideas sparked. But none of this began on the outside. It all began the moment you believed within. And now, because you live from the end, you are unmoved by appearances. You are not shaken by a slow day or a delayed message. You know the truth. You feel it. You dwell in it. I am a millionaire this month is no longer just an affirmation. It is your dwelling place. It is your home. It is the air you breathe. And because you have remained faithful to that assumption, the promise cannot fail. Your world must conform to the image you hold within. Do not dilute the law with questions of how. Do not insult your own divinity with doubt. The how is none of your business. Your work is to imagine and feel. The universe, that perfect servant, responds in kind. It will bring you through ways you cannot devise, effortlessly, gracefully, and in perfect time. But your time is now, this month. You have declared it. You have embodied it. You have felt it in your bones. If ever you feel the temptation to slip back into the old man, the one who hopes and waits and worries, gently bring yourself back. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and say again, I remember who I am. That is your anchor. That is your truth. You are not becoming. You are revealing. The wealth was always yours. The mansion, the influence, the abundance. It has been yours from the foundation of the world. You are merely awakening to it now. So speak it with conviction. Write it upon your heart. Whisper it in your prayers. I am a millionaire this month. Say it until your inner speech becomes a chorus of certainty. Let every cell of your body align with that reality. And when the evidence appears, as it must, receive it with gratitude, but not surprise. For you knew it all along. You lived it first in imagination. That is the only way anything real is ever born. Live in the joy of it now. Walk in the confidence of it now. Spend from it mentally. Give from it spiritually. Celebrate it emotionally. For as you feel, so shall it be. This is the law, simple, unchanging, eternal. So tonight, as you lie down to sleep, enter into the scene that implies your wealth is already yours. Perhaps you're holding the balance sheet, seeing all the zeros lined up in your favor. Perhaps you're walking out of the bank with a smile, or hosting your loved ones in your new home, the one that sits atop the hill. Let it be vivid. Let it be real. And above all, let it be now. For the only time there is now. And the only power there is I am. Feel the floor beneath your feet, not as it is, but as it would be. Marble, polished, cool, reflecting the chandelier light of your new mansion. Hear your own footsteps echo in wide halls of affluence. Smell the richness of fresh-cut flowers, in vases you didn't have to budget for. Touch the fabric of the tailored clothes that now drape your body, custom-made not just in size, but in the truth of who you have become. See the numbers on your phone screen, in your banking app, in the transfer notifications, and feel no surprise. Only the calm knowing, of course. Of course, this is mine. It always was. Do you see what happens when you remain loyal to your assumption? The outer must yield. The world must bow to the command of the inner man. This is not philosophy. This is law. The law of consciousness. The law of assumption. The only law worth mastering. The moment you said with feeling, I am a millionaire this month, you entered a contract with yourself. Not a binding of duty or pressure, but a sacred agreement of trust. And the moment you remained faithful to that inner vision, everything around you began to respond. Some things shifted gently. Others were torn down entirely to make room. Friends fell away. New connections arrived. Circumstances that once stood in your way crumbled like paper in fire. You began to notice the synchronicities. A sudden email, an invitation, a chance conversation, a new stream of income. Ideas that came not with strain but with clarity, and with them ease and flow. You did not chase. You attracted. You did not force, you allowed, for the seed was already planted, and your job was simply to water it with feeling, to feel it real, until it bloomed in your hands. And still the world may ask you, what changed? What did you do differently? But you will not speak of doing, you will speak of being. You will say, I remembered who I am. I stopped pretending to be poor. I stopped imagining failure. I stopped praying for what I already possess. I chose instead to live from the end. And from that end I began again. Do you not see? This is the mystery Paul spoke of. Christ in you, the hope of glory. The inner man, the awareness of being, is the Christ. And that Christ is the only power that saves. It does not matter what the outer self has done, or where it has failed. The moment the inner self assumes a new identity, the world obeys. Not slowly, not eventually, but immediately in spirit, and soon in fact. The delay, if ever there is one, is not a denial. It is simply the time it takes for your assumption to become your dwelling place. Not a place you visit when you feel inspired, but a place you live from day and night. You see, the man who becomes a millionaire is the man who already was one in consciousness. The money came second, the identity came first, and now you carry yourself with that calm certainty. There is no rush, no anxiety, no need to convince anyone. You know who you are, and so the world mirrors that back to you. You see wealth not just in your accounts but in your surroundings, in your choices, in the way others treat you. Not because you demand it, but because you finally accepted it. Acceptance, that is the key. The law works not through striving, but through surrender.
Not surrender to outer events, but to the truth within. You surrendered the old story, the old name, the old ceiling, and you took upon yourself a new name. I am a millionaire this month. And that name, like a seed, bore fruit after its kind. You didn't need to wait for the evidence to celebrate. You didn't postpone your joy for proof. You made joy the proof. You lived in thanksgiving before the outer harvest arrived. You smiled before the world gave you a reason. That's the secret most miss. They wait for the outer to give permission to feel. But the awakened man, the man who knows the law, he gives himself the permission. He says, I feel wealthy now. I celebrate now. I am grateful now. And the world must echo that feeling. The outer world is nothing but a mirror. It cannot initiate. It can only reflect. So when you shifted the inner mood, when you dared to walk, talk, think, and sleep in the state of wealth, the mirror had no choice. It had to show you a wealthy reflection. That is why the law cannot fail. The mirror cannot argue with you. It only obeys. And the moment you turned your inner gaze toward riches, toward ease, toward generosity, and overflowing abundance, the mirror began to move. No man or system could stop it. No circumstance could delay it. Because you had moved from trying to make it happen, to simply being the one in whom it has already happened. I am is not a future tense. It is present, immediate, powerful. When you say, I am a millionaire this month, you are not casting a vote. You are casting a decree. You are calling things that are not seen as though they are. And in doing so, you are pulling them into form. Some people think that wealth is only found in the bank. But true wealth begins in the mind. It begins in your assumptions about who you are and what you deserve. You did not become a millionaire because the world handed it to you. You became one because you refused to imagine anything less. You lifted your thoughts above the noise, above the worry, above the evidence, and you imagined from a higher place. And the world, obedient, creative, eternal, reshaped itself around that new elevation. It may have started subtly. A refund you weren't expecting, an idea that turned into income, an offer out of nowhere. But those were just outer symbols of the inner shift. The moment you embodied the assumption, the moment you said, I am a millionaire this month, and felt it to be so, that moment was the moment it became real. You let go of time. You let go of waiting. You let go of hoping. You let go of hoping. You let go of asking. And you began assuming. You began living in the end. You walked through your day as if the universe were your servant, and indeed it is. You began choosing as if limits did not apply to you. You began giving as if you had more than enough, and you did. You began responding to life not from fear, but from authority. The authority that comes from knowing, I am. And now the outer begins to roar. The money flows. The ideas multiply. The opportunities present themselves like a flood. You're not overwhelmed. You are centered. You are grounded in the I am. The world may think it all came out of nowhere, but you know better. You know it came from within, from your own divine imagination, from the truth you dared to feel real before it ever touched your senses. Keep going. Persist. Because this isn't just about money. This is about who you are, a being of infinite power, clothed in the flesh, sent here not to suffer, but to remember. And the moment you remembered that you are the operant power, everything changed. And so the abundance does not surprise you. It confirms you. It confirms what you knew all along, in the silence of your own inner chamber, that you were never small, never lacking, never waiting for some external permission to receive. You were and are, and always will be, the source, the fountainhead of all appearances. And when you finally honored that truth by feeling it deeply, consistently and joyfully, life bowed, life yielded, life came running to greet its new master. Now others look at you and ask for the strategy, the steps, the actions you took, but you cannot give them a formula, because the formula is not in doing, it is in being. You might smile and say, I believed, but belief is not a surface thought. It is not a wish, it is a knowing, a surrender into a state so fully felt that the world around you simply had to conform. You see now why it had to happen this month. Because this was the moment you stopped delaying your inheritance. This was the moment you stopped measuring yourself by outer standards, and dared to measure yourself by inner truth. This was the month you refused to argue for your limitations. This was the month you said, I am, and you said it with finality. Not as a rehearsal, not as a future projection, but as the undeniable present fact. When the inner man rises to speak with that certainty, the universe listens. All the forces move. People, places, things. All respond to that single voice, that divine echo of I am, the same voice that said, "Let there be light," the same voice that called forth the stars, the oceans, and the very breath you breathe. That voice now says, "I am a millionaire this month." And all of life rearranges itself to say yes. There is no resistance in divine law. The resistance only ever came from you, when you doubted, when you looked outside, when you hesitated to feel it real. But now, that resistance is gone. The walls have fallen. You walk in freedom, and the money, the manifestations, the miracles, they are merely symbols, echoes of the shift that happened within. You live no longer as the old man, bound by history and circumstance. You live now as the awakened one. You walk in the end. You speak from the mountaintop. You look back, not forward. You remember the hunger, the fear, the wishing, but only as shadows of a former self. For now you feast, now you rest, now you know, and still you do not rest in the outer riches, though they are many, though they are glorious, for they are but the natural extension of your inner conviction. You are not owned by the wealth, for you did not chase it, you called it. It came to serve you, not enslave you. It came because you claimed it in consciousness, and now it flows in your experience, as effortlessly as breath, as naturally as dawn follows night. You begin to move through life differently now. There is a grace in your steps, a silence in your soul. You do not speak from desperation. You speak from fulfillment. You are no longer striving to become. You are remembering who you are. You are the child of the Most High, and the I am that you are is the wealth itself. Not the symbol of wealth, but the power behind it. Not the paper, not the number, but the creative force that brought it forth. And when you said, "I am a millionaire this month," it was not vanity. It was truth. It was alignment. It was the still voice of God within you, speaking again as it did in the beginning. And you heard it this time. You believed it. You did not ask the world's permission to claim it. You did not wait for a sign. You became the sign. Everything external is catching up now. The reality is rushing to match the vision. But your peace does not come from the arrival of money. Your peace comes from knowing the law, from understanding that the outer always comes after, that all things are made in the image of your sustained assumption. You have shifted dimensions. You walk in the world but not of it. You no longer ask, "Can this happen for me?" Instead you ask, "What do I now choose to assume next?" You are free, and freedom is the greatest wealth of all. And so, beloved, as you stand in the quiet power of your own inner authority, remember this: the moment you dared to say, "I am a millionaire this month," the universe responded with a resounding yes. You no longer beg, no longer hope, no longer chase. You assume, you embody, you become. For creation is finished, and all that is yours awaits your recognition. Live now as the one who already has. Feel now as the one who already is. And watch, with calm certainty, as the world bends, not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you truly are, the operant power, the living I am, and the master of all that appears. This is your month, not someday, not soon, this month. Walk in it, own it, be it.
God has already spoken over your life, and tonight is the night that you will see the manifestation of what He has promised. Your journey has not been in vain. Through the trials, the tests, the long nights of uncertainty, God has been with you, leading you, strengthening you. You may have doubted at times, you may have questioned whether this moment would ever come, but now you stand at the threshold of a divine breakthrough. You see, the key to unlocking what's rightfully yours has always been within you. It was never about your circumstances or the people around you. It was always about your ability to believe in the unseen, to trust in the voice that speaks to your heart, even when the world tells you it's impossible. Tonight that belief will be rewarded. God has already decreed it. His word cannot fail. His promises are sure. And right now, at this very moment, you are stepping into the fullness of what He has promised you. You have passed the test. The storm you've weathered has been preparation. The battles you've fought, the pain you've endured, and the patience you've learned, all of it has shaped you into who you are today. And today, the door of opportunity swings wide open. You are no longer the person you were yesterday. The person who doubted, the person who feared, the person who struggled. Tonight, you will see the fruit of your perseverance. What you've asked for is on its way, but it is not just what you've asked for. It is more than that.
It is what you've become in the process. You have learned how to trust when there was no reason to, how to believe when the world told you it was foolish. And that trust, that unwavering faith, has positioned you for the blessing that is coming tonight. The world may not see it yet, but in the realm of the Spirit has already been done. God has already prepared the way. What was once invisible is about to become visible. The doors that seem closed will swing wide open. The people who seem to block your path will begin to clear the way. The very things that were meant to break you will now become the stepping stones for your promotion. You are chosen. You have been set apart for such a time as this. And as you stand on the edge of what is about to unfold, do not let fear or doubt creep in. What is coming is not too much for you. It is exactly what you've been prepared for. You will not fail. You will not fall short. You will rise, and you will rise higher than you've ever dreamed. Your reward is not just in the physical things that are coming, but in the peace, the joy, and the unwavering confidence in knowing that God has never let you down, and He never will. So stand firm tonight. Stand in expectation. Stand in faith. Your reward is here. It is not just a promise for the future. It is a reality for tonight. You've passed the test, and now the manifestation of everything you have believed in is about to unfold. You are ready. The time is now. You have made it through what many would have considered impossible. The trials that once seemed insurmountable now serve as proof of your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering belief. It wasn't always easy, was it? The tears, the heartache, the days when you felt alone. But now you understand something profound. It was all a part of the process. Each struggle, each challenge was shaping you into the person you needed to become in order to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming your way. Tonight, your reward is coming. You've been chosen for this. This isn't a coincidence or random happenstance. You were always meant to stand in this moment to experience this divine unfolding. The very things you've longed for, prayed for, and believed in are now entering your life. Not because of anything you've done to earn them, but because you have trusted God in the silence, in the waiting, and in the storm. When you were uncertain, God was sure. When you couldn't see the path ahead, He already had it paved. When your heart grew weary, His strength carried you. And now, as you stand on the cusp of this incredible reward, know that all of heaven is rejoicing with you. You are not stepping into this moment alone. God is with you, guiding you and filling you with His power and His grace. As you reflect on your journey, consider how far you've come. There was a time when you doubted you would even make it this far. The challenges seemed too great, the opposition too strong, yet here you are, stronger, wiser, and more grounded in your faith than ever before. Those very obstacles that were meant to break you have only served to build you. They have refined your character, deepened your trust in God, and elevated your spiritual awareness. You see, it's not just about the material blessings that are coming. It's about the transformation that has taken place in your heart, mind, and spirit. You've learned to stand firm in the midst of chaos. You've learned to believe even when the evidence suggested otherwise. You've learned to speak things into existence, to declare that what God has promised He will bring to pass. And now you will see it. You will see what has been spoken over your life. You will see the manifestation of everything you believed and hoped for. There's a reason why tonight is so significant. It's not just another night. It's the night that God has ordained for your breakthrough. It's the moment when the heavens open and pour down the blessings you've been waiting for. It's the moment when your prayers are answered, when your dreams are realized, when your heart is filled with the joy and peace that only God can give. You have been faithful in the small things, and now God is about to reward you with greater things. Your obedience, your perseverance, your trust in Him have positioned you for this. This is not a reward you could have earned by your own strength or effort. It's a divine reward, a manifestation of God's grace, mercy, and love for you. His timing is perfect, and tonight His timing is unfolding in your life. You might be wondering how it will all happen. How will the doors open? How will the blessings pour in? Understand this: when God moves, He moves in ways you cannot predict. He is not bound by time, space, or circumstances. What may seem impossible to the natural eye is easy for God. He has already made a way for you, a way that will surpass your expectations. As you stand in faith, know that God is already moving behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life for your good. If something you need to understand in this moment, the reward that is coming is not just for you alone. It is meant to bless others, to show others the power of God's love and grace. You were chosen not just for your own blessing, but to be a beacon of hope and light to those around you. Your victory will inspire others to believe that they too can overcome. Your testimony will serve as proof that nothing is impossible for God, that no matter how dark the season, joy comes in the morning. This is your moment of elevation. You are stepping into a new chapter of your life, a chapter where God's promises are no longer just words spoken over you, but are now manifesting in your reality. You are being elevated to a higher level. Your dreams are no longer distant hopes, but tangible realities that you can touch, see, and experience. This is the reward for your faithfulness, for your trust, for your unwavering belief that God will fulfill His promises. And even as you step into this new season, understand that your journey is far from over. This is not the end, this is just the beginning. What God has in store for you is greater than anything you could have imagined. The reward you're receiving tonight is only a taste of what's to come. As you continue to walk in faith, continue to trust, continue to believe, God will take you from glory to glory. He will lead you to places you never thought possible, opening doors that no man can shut and pouring out blessings that will overflow. The best part is that you are ready for it. You have passed the test. You have proven that you can handle the blessing that is coming your way. God does not give to those who are unprepared. He does not pour out His promises on those who are not ready to receive them. But you are ready, your heart is open, your faith is strong, and your mind is aligned with God's purpose for your life. You are prepared for this divine manifestation. The reward you will receive tonight is not just something that will add to your life, it will change your life. It will transform you in ways that only God can. Your understanding of what is possible will shift. Your perspective will expand. You will no longer look at the world through the same eyes. You will see the world through God's eyes. And you will begin to realize that nothing is impossible for you. Your reward is not just the manifestation of your desires. It is the realization that you are a co-creator with God, that what you speak, believe, and trust in will come to pass. You are walking in divine alignment with your purpose, and tonight, that alignment will bear fruit. So as this night unfolds, hold on to the truth that God has spoken over your life. Hold on to the promise that He has made. Tonight is your night. The manifestation of all that you have believed in is happening. What you've been waiting for is coming to pass. Your faith has made you whole. Your trust in God has opened the floodgates of heaven. You are chosen, and tonight your reward is being poured out in abundance. Stand firm in the knowledge that this is just the beginning, and what is coming is far greater than you could have ever imagined. You are on the precipice of something extraordinary, and it will happen tonight. Tonight, the divine plan is coming into full motion. You've endured, you've believed, and now the heavens are aligning to bring the reward that you've been patiently waiting for. All of the struggles, all the heartache, all the challenges you faced, none of it was in vain. It was all leading to this moment. You passed the test. You've been proven worthy of what is about to unfold. As you stand here at this moment in time, know that everything is in place for your blessing, for your reward. The wait, the long seasons of not knowing, the periods where you felt uncertain and wondered if it would ever happen, have all been part of your preparation. It may have felt like nothing was changing, like you were standing still while the world moved around you, but God was working behind the scenes. You may not have seen it, but he was moving in ways you couldn't comprehend. Every step you took, every moment you stood in faith, even when it seemed impossible, was setting the stage for what is to come tonight. The victory that you are about to experience was already secured in the spiritual realm long before you ever saw the evidence of it in your physical world. Tonight is a manifestation. It's the realization of everything you believed for, the dreams that once felt distant, the promises you once held on to in the quiet moments, the prayers you whispered in the stillness of your heart. Tonight, they all come to fruition. You are stepping into the fullness of what God has for you. This is the moment you've been prepared for, and you are ready. You have been chosen to receive, and the heavens are pouring down blessings just for you. The reward you are about to receive is not just material, it's also spiritual. It's a gift of peace, a deeper understanding, and a newfound clarity that will illuminate every area of your life. The manifestation that is unfolding is not just about what you can see, but what you can feel, what you can know in your spirit. God is giving you a deeper connection, a stronger relationship with Him that will lead you through every season of life with a sense of purpose and direction that you've never known before. When you look back at where you've come from, remember this: you passed through the fire and it has refined you. The trials you've experienced were not meant to break you, but to strengthen you, to purify you, to prepare you for the greatness that is now at your doorstep. The pain you felt, the tears you've shed, were not wasted. They were part of your spiritual growth. And now you stand here, ready to receive everything that God has prepared for you. And now you stand here, ready to receive everything that God has prepared for you. This is not just your reward. It's the reward for your faith, for your endurance, for your trust in God, even when you couldn't see the way ahead. What you are stepping into tonight is more than just a blessing. It is a divine alignment. It is the perfect convergence of your faith, your actions, and God's timing. You see, this isn't just about receiving something material, it's about receiving the fullness of God's plan for your life. The path you've walked, the journey you've taken, has been leading you to this moment. Your faith has been the compass, and God has been guiding you every step of the way. And as you step into this reward, you need to remember one thing: this is just the beginning. Tonight is not the culmination of your journey, it is the next step. You are being elevated to a new level. The blessings you will receive tonight will open doors to even greater blessings, greater opportunities, and greater understanding. This is the beginning of a new chapter, one that is filled with God's favor and His grace. This reward is not the end of the story. It is the foundation upon which your future will be built. You may not see it all yet, but as you continue to walk in faith, continue to trust in God's plan, you will see how everything fits together perfectly. The dreams you've carried in your heart for so long will start to take shape in ways that will astound you. What you thought was impossible will become a reality. What you thought was out of reach will now be within your grasp. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is here, and it will unfold before your very eyes. But this reward, this manifestation, is not just for you, it's for those around you too. You are not only receiving this blessing to enjoy it for yourself, it is meant to be a testimony of God's goodness, a witness to His power and His grace. As you step into this reward, others will see the power of God's hand at work in your life. Your testimony will serve as a beacon of hope for those who are still waiting, still wondering if their time will come. You will be a living example of God's faithfulness, and through you, others will be encouraged to keep believing, to keep pressing forward, to keep trusting. You are being elevated for a reason. This reward is not just for your personal benefit, it is for the glory of God. You have been chosen to carry His light, to share His love, and to be a witness to the world of His faithfulness. Your reward is a reflection of His goodness, and as you receive it, know that it is meant to be shared. As you are blessed, others will be blessed by your story, your faith, and your testimony. You have passed through the fire, and you are now stepping into your reward. The journey has been long, but the rewards are great. God has seen your faithfulness, your perseverance, and your trust, and now He is honoring that with His blessing. Your reward is here, and it will not be withheld. It is coming to you tonight. What you have asked for is already on its way. What you have believed for is being manifest in your life right now. The wait is over. As you stand in this moment, remember, you are not just receiving a blessing for yourself. You are receiving it for the glory of God. You are stepping into a new season of favor, of abundance, of divine alignment. This is the moment where everything changes. What once seemed impossible will now be made possible. The doors that once seemed closed will now open wide. The mountains that once stood in your way will now be moved. Tonight you are walking into the manifestation of everything you have prayed for. This is not just about receiving what you've asked for. It's about receiving the fullness of God's plan for your life. You are stepping into a new dimension of favor, of purpose, and of destiny. What God has in store for you is greater than anything you could have imagined. And tonight you will see it begin to unfold before your eyes. The reward you receive tonight is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of something even greater. As you receive, as you step into this moment of divine manifestation, know that this is just the beginning of the journey. What is coming is greater than anything you have ever dreamed, and you are ready to walk in it. You have been chosen for this moment, and you will not be denied. The doors are opening, the way is being made, and your reward is here. You've made it through seasons of uncertainty, and now the moment has come for your reward. The divine clock is ticking, and every second of your journey, every prayer you've whispered in quiet moments has been building up to this point. Every step you've taken in faith, no matter how small, has led you closer to this manifestation. The reward you are about to receive is not just about the fulfillment of your desires, it is the completion of a divine purpose. Tonight, you are being positioned to receive not only a personal blessing, but also a message of hope for those who are still waiting for their breakthrough. God sees you. He sees every tear you've shed, every sacrifice you've made, and every moment you've walked in faith when it seemed like nothing was changing. And tonight, in His perfect timing, He is bringing the manifestation of His promises into your life. You are not being rewarded for your ability to see the outcome, but for your unwavering trust in Him. The reward is a testament to your obedience, your surrender, and your commitment to walk in His light, even when the path was unclear. It was your faith that moved mountains. And tonight, you will see that faith come to life. This reward is coming at the exact right time. Many have questioned, many have doubted, but God's timing is always perfect. It's not about when you think it should happen. It's about when God has prepared you to receive. This moment has been long in the making, and everything that has occurred in your life up until now was part of the divine plan. You have passed through trials to come out stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the purpose God has for your life. You are now ready to receive what has been waiting for you. Your reward will come in ways that you may not expect. It may show up in the form of a new opportunity, a shift in your circumstances, or a deeper understanding of your purpose. It may come in the form of a healing, a restoration, or a new level of peace and fulfillment that you have never experienced before. But no matter how it comes, it will come. The reward is certain, it is already ordained, it is already prepared for you, and all you need to do now is receive it. Tonight, as you prepare to step into your reward, let go of any doubts that still linger in your heart. Release any lingering fear or hesitation. God has already spoken, and His word does not return void. You may not yet see the full picture, but know that everything is falling into place. This is the divine moment where heaven touches earth, where your prayers are answered, and where the promises of God are made manifest in your life. This is not just a blessing for you, but for everyone who has witnessed your journey. For those who have walked alongside you, who have seen your struggles and your victories, your reward will be a sign of God's faithfulness to them as well. You are not just a vessel for your own blessings. You are a beacon of hope to others. Your journey, your faith, your perseverance are testaments to the power of trusting in God's plan. When others see you receive your reward, they will know that God is still in the business of miracles. They will know that He is faithful, that He hears the cries of His people, and that He is still working wonders in the lives of those who trust in Him. When you receive this reward, understand that it is not just about what you prayed for. It's a reflection of the heart of God towards you. You are His beloved, His child, and He has heard your cries. He knows the desires of your heart, and tonight He is fulfilling them. This is not a reward based on your merit, but based on His grace. It's a gift, freely given, a manifestation of His love for you. You are receiving not because you've earned it, but because He has chosen to bless you. And this blessing is not a small thing. It is the beginning of something even greater, something more profound than you could have imagined. As you receive, don't forget to give thanks. This is a moment of great joy, but also of deep gratitude. Thank God for bringing you through every trial, for refining you in the fire, for teaching you to trust when it was difficult, and for never abandoning you. Your reward is a reflection of His love and His faithfulness, and it's important to honor Him with a heart of gratitude. The Bible says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above," and tonight you are receiving one of those good and perfect gifts. What is coming is not only a reward for what you've endured, but a seed for the future. This reward is meant to propel you forward into your next season. It's the fuel that will keep your faith burning brightly as you continue on your journey. The doors that are opening to you tonight will lead to even greater opportunities, greater growth, and greater transformation. What you receive tonight is just the beginning of a new chapter in your life. It is a launch pad for the next phase of your destiny. You will look back on this moment and you will realize that everything changed from tonight forward. What you are receiving tonight is not just a one-time blessing. It is the beginning of a new era. You are stepping into a new level of favor, a new level of anointing, and a new level of divine alignment. As you step into this new season, remember that the reward you're receiving is only the beginning of the abundance that God has in store for you. This reward is a declaration that your waiting has not been in vain. Every moment you spent in anticipation, every moment you wondered if it would ever come to pass, God has seen it. He has watched your faith grow, your patience deepen, and your trust in Him solidify. He knows your heart, and He knows how much you've longed for this moment. And now He is answering you. In the coming days, you will begin to see the full extent of what God has done. You will witness the unfolding of a beautiful tapestry, one that has been woven with His grace and His wisdom. You will see how all the pieces of your life have fit together, even the difficult moments, the ones you didn't understand at the time. They were all part of God's perfect plan. And now you are standing at the threshold of the manifestation of everything He has promised you. But as you step into this reward, don't forget that it is not just for you. It is for those around you as well. You are a vessel of blessings, and as you receive, others will be blessed by your testimony. Your faith will be a light that shines brightly for others to follow. Your journey will inspire others to trust, to believe, and to hold fast to God's promises. As you walk in the fullness of your reward, let it be a testimony to the world of God's goodness, His grace, and His unwavering faithfulness. Tonight is your night. The reward you've been waiting for is here, and it is more than you could have imagined. It's a gift from God, freely given, and all you have to do is receive it. Know that everything you have gone through has led to this moment. You are ready. You are worthy. You have passed the test, and now it's time to step into the fullness of your reward. The heavens are rejoicing, and so should you. Your victory is here. Your time has come. The reward you are about to receive tonight is not just the result of a prayer answered, but the culmination of a season of transformation. You have been molded, shaped, and refined for this moment. What is coming into your life now is the direct result of the work God has been doing in you. It's the reward for your growth, your perseverance, and your steadfast faith in a time of uncertainty. The road was never meant to be easy, but every hardship you endured, every moment of doubt you overcame, and every obstacle you faced has prepared you to step into the fullness of God's promises. The beauty of divine timing is that it doesn't operate according to human understanding. While we may think we're ready for something, God knows exactly when the time is right. The years of waiting, the seasons of silence, and the periods when you felt as though nothing was happening, they were all part of a larger plan. They were the moments when God was preparing your heart to handle the blessings that are now being poured into your life. You may not have understood why you had to wait, why things unfolded in the way they did, but now, as you stand on the threshold of this reward, you can see that it was all necessary. Tonight marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. You have moved past the barriers that once limited you. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are now mere stepping stones to the great things ahead. What's coming into your life tonight is not just a fleeting blessing, but a permanent change. It is the fruit of years of waiting, praying, and trusting in a God who never fails. You've walked through the fire, and now you will wear the crown that is the result of your faithfulness. You are about to see how every prayer you've ever uttered, every tear you've shed, every sacrifice you've made has led to this moment. You are being rewarded not just for what you've done, but for who you've become. This is not about the things you've achieved in the natural sense, but about the transformation that has taken place in your soul. The reward is a reflection of the inner work you've done. The times you've chosen peace over anger, love over hatred, patience over frustration. It's a reflection of your unwavering commitment to seek God's will and trust in His timing. Your reward is not just material, it's a deep internal shift that will affect every area of your life. It's a change of heart, a deepening of faith, and a fresh perspective that will allow you to walk in the full authority and purpose that God has ordained for you. What is unfolding for you tonight is not the result of human effort, but of divine grace. You've worked hard, yes, but it is God's grace that has carried you. It is His grace that has opened doors that were once closed. It is His grace that has led you through seasons of wilderness and into the promised land of your destiny. You are stepping into this reward because of His favor, and it's time for you to accept it fully. You are worthy not because of anything you have done, but because God has chosen you and His favor is upon you. The divine order of your life has been set in motion, and now the manifestation is at hand. What you are about to receive will not just bless you, but will serve as a testimony to the goodness of God. Your reward will shine as a beacon to those around you, letting them know that if God can do it for you, He can do it for them. Your faith will be a witness, your story will inspire, and your victory will give others hope. You are being rewarded not just for your own sake, but for the sake of all those who will be impacted by your testimony. This moment is a divine intersection of your faith and God's will. When you first believed, when you first took the step of faith, you couldn't have known how the story would unfold. But God did. He saw every moment, every step, every challenge, and He knew that you were capable of enduring. Tonight, as you step into your reward, you are also stepping into a new season of influence, a new season of impact, and a new season of divine favor. You are now walking in alignment with God's plan for your life. This is the result of you saying yes to His will, even when it didn't make sense. You didn't give up when it was hard. You didn't stop trusting when it seemed impossible. And now God is rewarding you for your faithfulness. Your reward will come in ways that you can't even imagine, but it will be exactly what you need. It will be a perfect fit for your life, your purpose, and your future. Don't think for a second that your journey was in vain. Every prayer you prayed, every moment of waiting, every setback and triumph, every small step forward, all of it has led to this moment. It wasn't always easy. You didn't always see the outcome, but your trust in God never wavered. And now you are walking in the harvest of your faith. Your reward is evidence of God's faithfulness to those who walk in His ways. As you receive your reward tonight, remember that this is not just for you. It's a blessing for your family, your friends, and all those who have supported you along the way. Your reward is a ripple effect that will touch many lives. It will create a wave of blessings that will flow out of your life and into the lives of others. The impact of your faith is far-reaching, and what you receive tonight will be a seed that multiplies and grows. God has a purpose for this blessing. It is not just for your own benefit, but to advance His kingdom. This reward is a part of the bigger picture that God is painting in your life. It is a piece of the puzzle that will bring you closer to fulfilling the destiny He has set before you. You are being rewarded tonight because you have passed through the fire and come out refined, ready to carry out the work God has for you. Your reward is not just about what you've achieved, but about who you've become in the process. The challenges you faced, the mountains you climbed, the storms you weathered, those were all part of God's preparation for this moment. He knew that you were ready, and now He is bringing you into your promise. Your journey has not been in vain. Every trial, every test, every challenge has been a stepping stone to the manifestation of His promises. And now, as you step into your reward, you can stand tall, knowing that you have persevered and that God is pleased with your faith. Tonight, as you receive what God has prepared for you, know that this is just the beginning. This reward is the opening of a new chapter, a new season, a new opportunity to step into all that God has for you. Your best days are ahead, and the reward you're receiving tonight is only the beginning of the abundant blessings that God has stored up for you. It's time for you to walk in the fullness of His promise, to embrace the life He has planned for you, and to shine as a light to the world. As you stand on the edge of this moment, remember that you are not standing alone. God is with you. His favor surrounds you. His hand is upon your life, guiding you, protecting you, and leading you into all that He has prepared for you. Your reward is a testimony to His goodness, and it is a reflection of His love for you. Tonight you are being rewarded not because of your own strength or ability, but because God has seen your faith, your trust, and your perseverance, and He is honoring that. Receive the blessing that is coming to you tonight. Embrace it, walk in it, and know that this reward is a sign of even greater things to come. The best is yet to come. And this moment is just the beginning of all that God has in store for you. The doors that are opening for you tonight will lead to even greater opportunities, even greater breakthroughs, and even greater manifestations of His glory. This is your time. Your reward is here. The season of waiting is over. The season of receiving has begun. Tonight, as you receive the reward, know that it is a direct result of your commitment to God's will for your life. This is the moment when the seeds you've planted through faith, sacrifice, and trust finally bear fruit. The moments you spend praying in silence, standing firm in your beliefs, and choosing faith over fear, each one of those moments has led you to this place. It wasn't easy, and there were times you may have felt discouraged, but in those moments you chose to remain steadfast. Now God is showing you just how important those moments were as He pours out His reward upon you. This isn't just about the material blessings that are coming into your life. It's much deeper than that. What God is rewarding tonight is the transformation that has taken place in your heart. It's the spiritual growth, the understanding of His will, and the inner peace that you've gained. You've learned to trust in His timing, even when the world told you to rush. You've learned to believe in His plan, even when your circumstances told you that it wasn't possible. And now God is rewarding your patience, your perseverance, and your unwavering belief. The reward is not simply a result of what you have done, but a manifestation of the work God has done in you. It is a reflection of the divine partnership that has been at work in your life. You didn't make it this far on your own. God has been walking with you every step of the way, even when you couldn't see Him. He has been guiding you, refining you, and preparing you for this very moment. You are the result of His love, His grace, and His faithfulness. And now, the reward He is giving you tonight is the outward expression of everything that has been happening inside you. As you stand on the edge of this new chapter, remember that this reward is not just for you, but for everyone who will be impacted by your life. Your faithfulness has not only changed you, it has changed the world around you. The blessings you are receiving are not just for your benefit, but for the advancement of God's kingdom. Your testimony will inspire others, your success will open doors for those who come behind you, and your example will show others what is possible when you trust God with everything. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. The reward that is coming into your life tonight is just the first wave of many more to come. This moment is a divine milestone, a sign that the harvest is here, but is also an indicator that there is even greater abundance on the way. God's plans for you are far greater than you can imagine, and what you are receiving tonight is merely a glimpse of what is yet to come. As you embrace the blessings that are pouring into your life, know that they will multiply and expand in ways you can't yet fathom. The challenges you faced along the way were not meaningless. Every trial, every heartache, every tear you shed was a part of your preparation for this moment. Each struggle shaped you, refined you, and brought you closer to the person you are today. Now, as you stand in the light of your reward, you can look back with gratitude for the journey you have walked. You are stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle the blessings that are being released into your life. You've earned this moment, and God is honoring the process it took to get you here. When God rewards you, it is always beyond what you could ask for or imagine. His blessings are not just enough to meet your needs, but they overflow into abundance. The reward you are receiving tonight is not just about what you prayed for, it's about what God has in store for you that you haven't even asked for yet. God's generosity is limitless, and as you receive what is due to you, He is already preparing the next wave of blessings to come. His love for you is vast, and the reward you're receiving tonight is a small reflection of His infinite goodness. Even now, as you're beginning to see the fruits of your labor, remember that this reward is not a reason to stop moving forward. God doesn't bless you so that you can become complacent. He blesses you so that you can keep going. Your journey isn't over. This reward is simply a milestone, a reminder of how far you've come, and a sign of how much farther you can go. The blessing is not the destination, but a part of the process. You are being positioned for even greater things, and God will continue to reward your faithfulness as you keep walking in His direction. Take a moment tonight to pause and reflect on all that God has done for you. Take a moment to celebrate how far you've come, but don't stay in that place of reflection for too long, because the future is waiting for you. The next phase of your journey is just ahead. What God is doing in your life tonight is not just about you. It's about the legacy you will leave behind, the lives you will touch, and the impact you will make. As you step into this new season, remember that you are not walking alone. God's favor is upon you, and He will continue to guide you every step of the way. Your reward is a testimony to the goodness of God and the power of faith. It shows that when you trust in Him, when you walk in His ways, when you believe in His promises, He will never fail you. He has seen your heart, He has seen your struggle, and He is rewarding you for your faithfulness. This reward is not just about the material things that are coming into your life, but about the spiritual growth and the deeper connection with God that you are now experiencing. The reward is a reflection of your obedience, your trust, and your unwavering belief that God is always working on your behalf. As you receive this reward tonight, know that it is a reflection of God's love for you. You are His beloved, and He takes great pleasure in blessing you. He sees your heart, He sees your efforts, and He is rewarding you in ways that will not only change your life, but will change the world around you. Tonight marks a new beginning. The reward you receive will open doors that no man can close. It will break chains that have held you back, and it will empower you to walk in the fullness of your divine destiny. The challenges you have faced have prepared you to stand in this moment of victory. The road may have been long, but it was worth it. Every sacrifice you made, every prayer you prayed, every tear you shed, it was all a part of the divine process that has led you here. Tonight, you are not just receiving a reward, you are stepping into your destiny. You are stepping into the life that God has always planned for you, and as you receive this blessing, know that it is only the beginning of what is to come. This moment is not just for you, it's for your family, your friends, and those who have been watching you with awe. They will see the favor of God upon your life, and they will know that if God can do this for you, He can do it for them. You are a living testimony of God's power to transform lives. Your story will inspire others to trust in God, to believe in His promises, and to walk by faith. You are about to become a beacon of hope, a light to those around you, showing them that with God, all things are possible. As you receive this reward tonight, know that it is a sign of God's love for you and a testament to the faithfulness you've shown in the midst of adversity. He has seen your heart, and now He is rewarding you in ways that will surpass all your expectations. This moment is not the end of your journey, it's a new beginning. The best is yet to come, and tonight you are stepping into a new season of blessings, favor, and divine fulfillment. The reward you've been waiting for is here, and it's only the beginning of what God has planned for you. Tonight, as the blessings unfold in your life, realize that they are not just for the moment. They are part of a bigger divine plan that has been unfolding over time. This is not an accident or a mere coincidence. This is a direct result of God's hand upon your life. The reward you are receiving tonight is proof that every prayer you've prayed, every challenge you've overcome, every step you've taken in faith has not gone unnoticed. Heaven has been watching you, and now the reward is flowing to you in abundance. You have endured much, and in your endurance you have found strength. You have faced hardships that seemed insurmountable, but you overcame them. Each obstacle, each trial, each moment of uncertainty has been a step toward the reward that is now entering your life. These were the moments that tested your faith, but they also refined you, shaping you into the person you are today. The person who is ready for this moment, the person who is ready to receive the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Your journey has not been easy, and it hasn't always been clear. At times you may have wondered if you were on the right path or if your efforts were in vain. But the truth is, those doubts were only temporary. You never gave up, you never lost faith, and God saw every moment you pressed on despite the challenges. Now you are reaping the rewards of your persistence, your faith, and your unshakable belief that God is always working in your favor. This is a moment of divine alignment. Every piece of your life, every decision, every prayer, and every sacrifice has brought you to this moment of fulfillment. The things you've been waiting for, the things you've been praying for, are now being released into your life. But this reward is not just for your benefit, it's for the people around you as well. Your reward is a sign to the world that God is faithful, that He rewards those who diligently seek Him, and that He is always on time. You are a living testament to the fact that God's promises are true, and your story will inspire others to trust in Him more deeply. There is a power in receiving what is rightfully yours. It doesn't just bless your life, it creates a ripple effect that touches those around you. You are a vessel of God's goodness, and as you are rewarded, others will be able to witness the power of God's work in your life. Your success, your breakthroughs, and your rewards are not just for you to enjoy alone. They are a beacon of hope for others who may be struggling or questioning if God will come through for them. When they see you, they will know that it is possible, that it is real, and that God's love is for them too. What you are experiencing tonight is a manifestation of the work that has been happening in the unseen realms. Every prayer you've prayed, every word of affirmation you've spoken, every act of faith you've taken has been building up to this moment. You may not have always seen the results immediately, but God was working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life. Now, the manifestations are here, and they are greater than anything you could have imagined. This moment is a culmination of everything that has come before it, but it is also a starting point for what is to come. The reward you are receiving tonight is a seed, and just like any seed, it will grow and multiply. What God is doing in your life tonight is not just a one-time blessing. It is the beginning of a new season, a season of abundance, growth, and expansion. You've entered a new level of favor, and as you continue to walk in His will, the blessings will continue to flow. God's blessings are like a river. They don't stop, they just keep flowing. The more you allow God to work in and through your life, the more you will see His favor poured out in ways you never thought possible. As you stand in this moment, receiving the reward that is rightfully yours, take time to reflect on the journey that brought you here. Think about the obstacles, the challenges, and the setbacks that you faced. Think about how difficult it seemed at times to keep going, how you sometimes questioned whether it was worth it. But now, as you look at what is unfolding in your life, you can see that it was worth it. Every struggle, every hardship, every moment of doubt was all part of God's perfect plan to bring you to this place of victory. And what you are receiving tonight is just a small glimpse of the greater things that are still to come. This reward is a reflection of your inner transformation. God doesn't just reward outward actions, He rewards the changes that have taken place in your heart. The patience you've learned, the humility you've embraced, the wisdom you gained, these are the things that God rewards. You didn't just get to this point by chance. It was the work that God has done in you, the growth He has brought about in your spirit that has prepared you for this moment. Now, as the reward is manifested in your life, it is a reflection of your inner strength, your trust in God, and your willingness to surrender to His will. The reward you are receiving tonight is also a reminder that you are chosen. You have been set apart for a divine purpose, and this moment is evidence of that. You were never meant to follow the crowd or live a life of mediocrity. You were meant to stand out, to shine, and to be a light in this world. God has been preparing you for something great, and tonight is a sign that your time has come. You have passed the tests, you have stayed true to your faith, and now the reward is here. This is not just for your benefit, but for the advancement of God's kingdom. Your success will bring glory to Him, and your life will be a living testimony of His goodness. As you step into this new season, remember that this reward is not an end, but a continuation of the journey. The blessings you are receiving tonight are just the beginning of a greater outpouring. God's favor is upon you, and He is not finished with you yet. There is more to come. Greater blessings, greater opportunities, greater breakthroughs. This is your moment, but it is not your final moment. There is much more to be done and much more to be received. Keep your eyes on God. Keep your heart open to His leading and keep walking in faith. You are just getting started. The reward that is unfolding in your life tonight is not just about the material blessings, but about the deeper spiritual growth that is taking place. You are being transformed, and that transformation will continue throughout your life. As you receive this reward, know that it is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter filled with greater blessings, greater favor, and greater opportunities to impact the world around you. You've earned this moment, and God is honoring your faithfulness. But remember, this reward is just a glimpse of what is to come. You are being prepared for greater things, and this is just the beginning. As you continue to trust in God, He will continue to bless you. The reward you are receiving tonight is only a taste of what's ahead. Keep moving forward, keep trusting, and keep believing that God is always working on your behalf. His favor is upon you, and His blessings will never cease. Tonight, as the reward is poured out into your life, take a moment to thank God for His faithfulness. Acknowledge the work He has done in your life and praise Him for what is to come. You are walking in a new season of blessings, and God will continue to lead you into greater things. As you receive your reward, know that this is only the beginning of the incredible things God has planned for you. Your journey is far from over, and the best is yet to come. As you stand in the fullness of God's reward tonight, remember that this moment is not just for you, but for His glory and for the people who will be touched by your testimony. The struggles you've faced, the patience you've exercised, and the faith you've held on to were never in vain. This is the harvest of your perseverance, and the seeds you planted with every prayer, every act of obedience, are now bearing fruit. But do not think that this reward is the end of your journey. It is just the beginning. God has more in store for you than you can ever imagine. This is a pivotal moment, a milestone, but the road ahead is filled with even greater blessings and breakthroughs. Continue to walk in faith, keep your heart aligned with His will, and expect even greater manifestations in your life. Trust that God's timing is perfect, and this reward is exactly what you need for this season. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that you are chosen, you are loved, and you are destined for greatness. Your story is just unfolding, and as you walk in His grace, the best is yet to come. Keep your eyes on Him, trust in His plan, and know that tonight is just a glimpse of the abundant life He has promised you. There's a force at work in your life right now that's deeper than you realize. You may not see it, but in every challenge, every delay, every moment of uncertainty, God is silently orchestrating things on your behalf. Imagine a presence so powerful that it goes ahead of you, clearing paths, opening doors, and setting up divine opportunities long before you even encounter them. You may be facing struggles, feeling like nothing is moving, like you're lost in a cycle of waiting. But God doesn't leave His plans halfway. What if, right now, He's arranging events that will lead to breakthroughs, preparing you in ways that can only be fully understood with time? Lean in and stay with me, because what we're about to explore might change how you perceive your journey entirely. Have you ever thought about what it means when God promises to go before you? It's not just a poetic phrase, it's a reality that speaks to God's unfathomable love and intentionality towards His children. To understand this, you need to grasp that God doesn't operate within our limitations of time and space. Where we see only the present, God sees the entire path, past, present, and future woven together in His perfect plan. You may feel the weight of current trials, but every single one of those moments, even those that feel burdensome, has purpose in His grand design. Think of Joseph, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, accused falsely, and forgotten in prison. To the human eye, his circumstances were tragic and unfair. But God was preparing him, molding him, and positioning him for something extraordinary. Every pitfall Joseph encountered was not a setback but a setup. God was working behind the scenes, aligning events that would eventually bring him to the palace. In the same way, what you see as a delay or hardship may be God's way of directing you to a future that's beyond what you could have orchestrated on your own. God's timing, though mysterious to us, is always perfect. His plans are neither early nor late. As it is written, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." These aren't just comforting words, they're divine promises. When God assures you of His plans, He's telling you that every twist and turn you experience has been accounted for. Nothing surprises Him, and nothing catches Him off guard. Imagine God as a master artist painting the portrait of your life. Every brushstroke, each shade of color, is intentional. Some strokes are light and joyful, while others are darker, representing the trials. But altogether, they create a masterpiece. The challenge is that we often only see small sections of this painting at a time, perhaps only those dark strokes that represent hard times. And when we're stuck in those darker areas, it's tempting to question the process, to feel abandoned or even forgotten. But what we must remember is that God is the artist, and He sees the full picture. He knows what He's creating in you and through you. We have to understand that faith is not the absence of struggle, it is the confidence that God is present in the struggle. He walks through it with you. In the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, He did not leave them alone. He stepped into the flames. The same goes for your situation. Even when you don't feel His presence, He's right there, working on your behalf. Have you ever noticed that God often does His most profound work in silence? When you're waiting and wondering, He's preparing and positioning. This is a season of divine setup. In the book of Isaiah, God declares, "I am the Lord, in its time I will do this swiftly." Sometimes it takes a long stretch of silence and patience before we see Him move, and then suddenly everything changes in an instant. Your job as you wait is not to understand everything, but to trust that He's setting up something beautiful, even when you can't see it. God's ways are higher than ours. We can be quick to label situations as failures or setbacks, when in reality they are detours orchestrated by God to take us to His appointed destination. Often He allows us to experience disappointment to prepare us for divine appointments. Look at Moses, who spent years tending sheep in the wilderness, a far cry from his Egyptian royalty. But God was preparing him in those quiet years, preparing him to be the leader who would stand before Pharaoh and declare freedom for God's people. God uses what looks like delay to develop your spirit, to mold you into the person who can carry the weight of the calling He has for you. Every moment of waiting, every unanswered prayer, every door that is yet to open is a reminder that God's timeline is not our timeline. He sees things from an eternal perspective. He's not in a hurry. He's preparing the perfect moment to reveal what he's been doing behind the scenes. The waiting period is not wasted, it's a time of refinement. Just like a potter shapes clay, God uses time to mold your character, to deepen your faith, and to strengthen your spirit so that when you step into his promise, you are fully prepared. The enemy might try to convince you that nothing is happening, that God has forgotten you. But remember, Satan is the author of lies. His goal is to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and frustration. But God's word says that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. This means that God doesn't abandon his projects. He doesn't leave his children halfway. What he started in your life, he will finish. I think about how a farmer plants seeds. After the seeds go into the ground, there's a season of waiting before any signs of life appear. But even though it looks like nothing is happening, beneath the surface, the seed is growing, taking root, developing strength. In the same way, God is planting seeds in your life, seeds of purpose, of calling, of destiny. The growth may be unseen, but it is happening. When the time is right, God will bring it to the surface, and you will see the fruit of his faithfulness. In those moments when you're tempted to give up, remember that God has invested too much in you to let you fail. He's invested his promises, his word, and even his son. You are worth too much to him to be abandoned in the middle of the process. His hands are on you, and he's shaping you with precision. He knows the number of hairs on your head, the desires of your heart, and the plans he has prepared for you. And those plans are good. Sometimes it's the small victories, the whispers of encouragement, the subtle shifts in perspective that remind you that God is working. You may not receive a grand sign, but he often works in the ordinary, in ways that seem mundane but are profoundly sacred. His miracles are not always dramatic, they are sometimes woven into the fabric of your daily life, waiting for you to recognize them. This journey of faith is not about controlling outcomes, it's about surrendering to the one who holds every outcome in his hands. When you release control, you make space for God's power to move. Trust that in his infinite wisdom he is guiding you even when the way seems unclear. He sees the dangers ahead, the hidden snares, and he shields you from them. What might look like rejection or disappointment could be God's hand protecting you from something you cannot yet understand. And so even in the no's and the closed doors, God is working, shielding you from harm, setting you up for something greater. There are moments in life when God's hand feels invisible, when his voice seems silent, and when his presence feels distant. Yet these are the very times he's closer than ever, preparing us, protecting us, and positioning us. In his wisdom, he knows that growth often comes not in the spotlight but in the shadows, where no one can see the work he's doing. Consider Jesus' own life. He spent years in relative obscurity before stepping into public ministry. He was growing, maturing, and being prepared for a mission so great that it would change the course of humanity. God often hides us in these quiet seasons because he's preparing us for something far beyond what we can currently see. Faith is about trusting in what we cannot see, believing in promises that are yet to come, and knowing that God is working, even when we can't feel it. This is why the scripture says we walk by faith, not by sight. If we only relied on what we see, we'd be discouraged because not every step of the journey makes sense from our perspective. But faith calls us to go deeper, to look beyond our immediate circumstances, and to trust that God is operating on a different level. He is orchestrating events in a way that is beyond our comprehension. Every disappointment, every closed door, every delay is part of his grand design, moving us towards something far greater than we could have ever planned for ourselves. Our human nature often pushes us toward impatience. We want immediate answers, quick solutions, and instant relief from pain. But God's process is different. He is not interested in rushing us to the finish line. He is interested in refining us along the way. Each moment of waiting, every test of patience, every situation that stretches us is God's way of shaping our character and building our resilience. Just as gold is refined in the fire to remove impurities, God uses the pressures and challenges of life to purify our hearts, strip away what doesn't serve us, and strengthen us for the journey ahead. What may feel like a trial is actually an opportunity for growth, a chance to deepen our reliance on Him and our understanding of His grace. God's work in our lives often defies logic. Think about the way He used a shepherd boy, David, to defeat a giant, or how He chose a stammering Moses to lead His people out of Egypt. By human standards, these choices didn't make sense. But God doesn't look at outward qualifications, He looks at the heart. He sees potential where others see limitation. In the same way, God has placed gifts, talents, and a unique purpose inside each one of us. But these gifts need to be cultivated, and this often happens in the hidden places, far from the eyes of the world. It's in the quiet, often unnoticed moments that God is molding us, shaping our abilities, and strengthening our faith. When we understand this, we can begin to see every season, no matter how challenging, as part of His divine process. Many of us pray for a blessing, a breakthrough, a change in our circumstances. But what if God's answer is not to change our circumstances, but to change us? What if the real blessing is not the end result, but the transformation that happens along the way? God is less interested in our comfort than He is in our character. He wants to build in us qualities that will last: faith, endurance, humility, and love. These are the attributes that will carry us through life's storms and make us vessels of His glory. When we shift our perspective from what can I get to who can I become, we begin to see our trials not as burdens, but as blessings in disguise. God's work in our lives is often subtle. He doesn't always announce His moves with thunder and lightning. Instead, He works in the details, in the small moments, in the daily interactions, and in the hidden thoughts of our hearts. We may not always recognize His hand at work, but He is there, carefully weaving together every piece of our lives. He is present in the seemingly mundane tasks, in the routines, and in the quiet moments when we are alone with our thoughts. This is why it's so important to cultivate a heart of gratitude and attentiveness. When we slow down and pay attention, we begin to see God's fingerprints everywhere. We see His guidance in the people He brings into our lives, in the doors that open and the ones that close, and in the lessons we learn along the way. One of the greatest acts of faith we can show is to remain steadfast, to keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. God honors persistence. He sees when we continue to trust Him, even when things don't go as we planned. He is moved by our determination to stay faithful, by our willingness to press on despite the odds. Every step we take in faith, no matter how small, is a testament to our trust in His promises. And as we keep moving forward, we begin to realize that the journey itself is part of His blessing. God uses every step, every stumble, every moment of doubt to teach us something valuable. God's love for us is not passive, it is active, intentional, and relentless. He pursues us even when we're unaware. He fights battles on our behalf, often in ways we cannot see or understand. Think of how He protected the Israelites, guiding them by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. He was their shield and protector, even when they grumbled and doubted His plan. God's commitment to us is the same today. He goes before us, behind us, and around us. His presence is our security, and His promises are our assurance that we are never alone, no matter how isolated we may feel. It's easy to lose hope when we don't see immediate results. But God calls us to walk by faith, not by sight. Faith is about trusting that He is working behind the scenes, even when we don't have all the answers. His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He sees the full picture, while we only see a fraction. This is why patience is so essential to our journey with God. Patience allows us to wait on His timing, knowing that He is orchestrating something far greater than we could have ever imagined. Patience teaches us to rely on Him, to lean not on our own understanding, but to trust in His wisdom. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when the wait seems too long and the burden too heavy. But it is in these moments that God is closest, providing strength and comfort in ways we may not always recognize. Sometimes God's work in our lives is not about changing our circumstances, but about changing our perspective. When we learn to see our situation through His eyes, we realize that every struggle is an opportunity for growth, every setback a setup for something greater. God is not just interested in getting us to the destination, He is interested in shaping who we become along the way. Throughout the Bible, we see countless examples of God working behind the scenes, even when his people were unaware. Esther, for example, found herself in a position of influence not by chance, but by divine appointment. She was chosen to be queen at a time when her people needed someone to stand in the gap. God placed her there, positioned her, and gave her favor for a purpose. In the same way, God has positioned you exactly where you need to be. You may not understand why you're in a particular job, relationship, or situation, but God has a purpose for every season. He has a reason for every placement, and He is working through it, even when we don't see it. God's silence is never a sign of His absence. Sometimes He is quiet because He is preparing something so significant that it requires our full attention and trust. When God seems silent, it is often because He is asking us to lean not on our own understanding, but to deepen our faith. Faith is not built in the comfortable, predictable moments. It is built in the uncertainties, in the seasons of waiting, and in the times when we don't have all the answers. These are the moments when we learn to trust God in ways that go beyond surface level faith. The truth is, God's timing is impeccable. He is never early, and He is never late. When He moves, He does so with precision. He knows the exact moment when things need to happen, and He orchestrates events in a way that aligns perfectly with His plan. We may not understand why certain things take so long or why certain doors remain closed, but God sees what we cannot. He knows what is best for us, and He withholds no good thing from those who walk uprightly. His delays are not denials, they are divine appointments, moments designed to teach us patience, perseverance, and trust. In every season of life, God's hand is at work, even when we can't see it. He is shaping us, guiding us, and preparing us for something far beyond what we can imagine. When we trust in His timing, we begin to see that everything we go through has a purpose. The challenges, the waiting, the setbacks, they are all part of His greater plan. God is not just working on our behalf, He is also working within us, transforming our hearts and minds to align with His will. If we truly believe that God is for us, that He is actively involved in our lives, then we can face every situation with confidence. We can walk through the valleys, climb the mountains, and endure the storms, knowing that we are not alone. God is with us, fighting for us, and preparing the way. He is our rock, our refuge, and our ever-present help in times of trouble. When we place our trust in Him, we find peace, not because our circumstances are perfect, but because we know that He is perfect. His love, His grace, and His strength are more than enough to carry us through. God is the ultimate architect of our lives, and He designs each moment with a purpose that is greater than we can imagine. Each day is an opportunity for us to see His work unfold, even if the process seems slow or hidden. When we understand that, we start to view life not just through the lens of immediate satisfaction, but with a long-term perspective that aligns with God's eternal plans. This shift in thinking allows us to embrace waiting with a different attitude, recognizing that each day is a step closer to the fulfillment of His promises. It's important to realize that God's purpose for our lives isn't tied solely to what we can see with our natural eyes. He is not confined to our limitations or our understanding of time. While we may look at the clock and measure everything by deadlines and timetables, God operates on an eternal clock. What may seem delayed to us is often the exact moment God is preparing us for something greater. His perfect timing is not always understood, but it is always right. As we trust in His timing, we learn to surrender our plans to His will, understanding that He is working everything together for our good. When you find yourself in moments of doubt, when the path ahead seems unclear, or when you're tempted to give up, remember that God is with you, actively working on your behalf. He does not abandon His children, and He is committed to fulfilling His promises. You might not always see the results immediately, but rest assured that He is preparing you for something powerful. Whether He's building your strength, shaping your character, or positioning you for the right opportunities, every trial, every moment of waiting, and every setback is a part of His divine strategy. The Bible reminds us in Romans 8:28 that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. This verse does not say that all things are good, but that all things work together for good. Even the painful moments, the moments of loss, the seasons of confusion, are being worked into the fabric of God's plan for your life. Every event, whether joyful or sorrowful, is being used by God to shape you into the person He has called you to be. So in those moments when life doesn't make sense, when the challenges seem too much to bear, remember that God is working behind the scenes. You may not see it now, but there is a greater purpose unfolding. God's faithfulness is unwavering, and He is a keeper of His promises. When we stand on His word, we are standing on a foundation that will never fail. His word is true, and His promises are sure. He has promised to never leave us nor forsake us, and He has promised to bring us through every trial. His faithfulness is not dependent on our circumstances, it is grounded in His unchanging nature. He is always working on our behalf, even when we don't feel Him, even when we don't see the evidence. His faithfulness is present, just as real in the unseen as it is in the seen. One of the greatest things we can do as believers is to learn to rest in God's promises. The world constantly urges us to hustle, to work harder, to strive for success, but God calls us to a different kind of rest, a rest that comes from knowing He is in control. This doesn't mean that we are passive, but it means that we work with the understanding that He is the one orchestrating our success. When we trust in God's sovereignty, we can release our anxieties, knowing that He is working everything out for us. We rest in the knowledge that our efforts are not in vain, but are empowered by His strength and guided by His wisdom. It's easy to forget this truth in the midst of challenges. Life has a way of overwhelming us, and it's natural to feel like we have to do everything ourselves. However, the Bible invites us to cast our cares upon God, for He cares for us. This invitation to trust Him with our burdens is not just a suggestion, it's an invitation to experience His peace, His provision, and His power. The more we learn to trust God in the midst of our struggles, the more we experience the reality that He is indeed working on our behalf. His work is always advancing, even when we cannot see it. His power is always at work, even in the quiet moments. Sometimes the things we are waiting for seem to take forever to materialize. Whether it's a breakthrough in our career, a healing in our body, or a restoration in our relationships, the waiting process can feel like a test of our patience. But in those moments of waiting, God is not idle. He is preparing the way ahead, aligning the right circumstances, and working in the hearts of others to bring about the perfect outcome. The delays are not denials. They are simply part of the process of God's perfect will being accomplished in our lives. When you find yourself frustrated by the pace of life, remember that God's pace is always perfect. He never rushes, and He never delays unnecessarily. Everything happens in His perfect time. If we can embrace the waiting, knowing that God is working in ways we cannot see, we begin to experience a peace that surpasses understanding. We no longer view the waiting periods as wasted time, but as vital seasons of preparation. These are the times when God is strengthening us, refining us, and equipping us for what's to come. You may be asking, why does God allow difficult seasons to last so long? Why doesn't He just give us what we need right away? The truth is, God allows us to go through seasons of waiting because He is preparing us for the future. The strength we need to endure the challenges ahead is developed in the waiting seasons. The faith we need to believe in God's promises is strengthened when we are required to wait. God doesn't allow us to go through hardships without purpose. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to grow in character, resilience, and trust. As we walk through life, we must learn to shift our focus from the problems we face to the God who is working on our behalf. We are often consumed by what we see and feel in the present, but God calls us to see beyond our immediate circumstances. He calls us to fix our eyes on Him, the one who is both the author and the finisher of our faith. He is writing our story, and though we may not always understand the plot twists, we can trust that He is working everything out according to His plan. In the moments when you feel like giving up, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, remember that God has not forgotten you. He is working behind the scenes, preparing you for the blessings that are on the way. You may not see the breakthrough right now, but it is coming. The blessings you've been waiting for are being set in motion, and in due time you will see the fruit of your faithfulness and perseverance. Trust in the process. Trust in the timing of God. He is always working, always moving, always orchestrating everything on your behalf. Sometimes we can become discouraged because the breakthrough we're hoping for hasn't come yet. We may be tempted to believe that God has forgotten us or that we're not worthy of His promises. But let me remind you today that God has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. His timing is perfect and His promises are true. Your breakthrough is on the way, and in the meantime He is preparing you for it. Trust that the waiting is not in vain. God is working, and you are moving closer to the fulfillment of His promises with each passing day. God's work in our lives is also about deepening our intimacy with Him. As we go through life, we learn to rely on Him more and more. The times when we feel most distant are often the times when He is drawing us closer. The challenges and the waiting are not meant to push us away from God, but to draw us near. As we face life's struggles, we are invited into a deeper relationship with our Creator. We are invited to trust Him more, to lean on Him more, and to depend on His strength more than ever before. When we fully understand that God is always working on our behalf, we can rest in the knowledge that we don't have to do everything ourselves. We can surrender our worries, our fears, and our anxieties to Him, knowing that He is in control. We can trust that He is working behind the scenes to bring about the best possible outcome for our lives. Our responsibility is not to worry about the outcome, but to remain faithful and obedient to Him. As we do that, we can rest assured that He is at work, even when we don't see it. So no matter where you find yourself today, whether in a season of waiting, facing obstacles, or wondering what God is doing behind the scenes, remember this: He is working on your behalf. Trust that He is orchestrating every detail of your life, even when it feels like nothing is happening. His promises are true, His faithfulness is sure, and His love for you is unwavering. Your breakthrough is on the way, and God is already preparing you for it. Keep trusting, keep believing, and know that He is always working, even when you can't see it. God's love for you is immeasurable, and it's in His love that He works tirelessly on your behalf. It is the foundation of everything He does in our lives. This is a love that is not based on merit, not something we have earned or deserve, but a love that flows from His very nature. It's a love that never fails, never grows weary, and never fades away. When God works in our lives, it is from a place of love, a love that transforms, restores, and strengthens. This is the love that sustains us through trials and guides us to victory. We often try to measure God's work in terms of visible results, but His greatest work often happens in the unseen. While we're busy looking for signs and signals, God is working deep within us, molding and shaping us. He is building character, faith, and perseverance in the secret places of our hearts. This is why it is so important to remember that God's work is not always immediately visible. In fact, some of His greatest miracles happen when we're unaware of them. He is working on our behalf in ways that transcend our understanding. Sometimes the only thing we see in front of us is a wall. We can't see past it, and we don't know how we're going to get through it. The enemy will try to convince us that there is no way forward, that the wall is too high to climb and the door is too tightly shut to open. But the truth is that God specializes in making a way where there seems to be no way. Just as He parted the Red Sea for the Israelites, He can part the walls in our lives. He can remove the obstacles that stand in our way and guide us into His perfect plan. The work that He is doing on our behalf is bigger than any problem we face. His power is limitless, and there is no obstacle that can prevent His will from being accomplished. In those moments when you feel stuck, remember that God is at work. When you can't see a way forward, trust that He is already making a way for you. He is moving mountains, opening doors, and shifting circumstances. He is aligning people, positioning opportunities, and working everything together for your good. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, God is always at work behind the scenes. His plan is unfolding in ways that we cannot always comprehend. But if we trust in His timing and His process, we will see the outcome of His faithful work. Sometimes God's work in our lives involves a process of refining. Just as gold is purified by fire, so too are we refined through trials and tribulations. The Bible tells us in 1 Peter 1:7 that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. This is not a process that is easy or comfortable, but it is necessary for our growth and maturity. The challenges we face are the tools that God uses to purify our faith, remove impurities, and make us stronger. In the midst of our trials, it is easy to become discouraged, but we must remember that God is refining us, making us more like Him, and preparing us for what's ahead. This is part of His divine work on our behalf. He allows us to go through these difficult seasons not to break us, but to build us. We are being transformed into vessels of honor, capable of handling the blessings He is preparing for us. The pain and pressure we experience are temporary, but the results are eternal. God is using these times to make us more like His Son, to increase our capacity to carry His glory, and to prepare us for greater things. When we face hardships, we may feel like God is distant or that He has forgotten us, but nothing could be further from the truth. God is right there with us, working in ways we cannot see. He is working on our behalf even when we feel alone or abandoned. In those moments, we must lean into His presence and trust that He is doing something beautiful in the midst of our struggles. Even in the valley, God is at work. Even in the wilderness, He is shaping and molding us into the person we are meant to become. His work is not limited by our circumstances. He is the God of the mountain and the valley. He is faithful in both the highs and the lows. It's easy to focus on the obstacles in front of us, but God calls us to shift our focus to Him. He is the one who makes the impossible possible. He is the one who can turn situations around. When we focus on Him, we begin to see things through His perspective. We stop looking at the problems and start looking at the possibilities. We stop trying to figure things out on our own and start trusting that He is already working everything out for our good. Our job is not to worry about how the solution will come, but to trust in His power and His timing. When we do this, we can have peace in the midst of the storm, knowing that He is working on our behalf. There may be times when we feel like giving up, when the road ahead seems too difficult to continue. But I want to encourage you today to keep going. Keep pressing forward, even when the journey seems long and hard. Your breakthrough is coming. God is working behind the scenes, and He is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. Trust in His process. Trust that He is shaping you, equipping you, and strengthening you for what lies ahead. It's important to remember that God's work in our lives is not only about what we receive, but also about what we give. As God works in us, He also works through us. He uses our lives as a testimony of His grace and power. We are called to be vessels of His love, to share His hope with others, and to be a light in a dark world. God is not only working on our behalf for our own benefit, but also to use us to fulfill His greater purpose in the earth. As we allow Him to work in us, He empowers us to be a blessing to those around us. There are times when we may feel like our efforts are in vain, when we wonder if we're making any impact. But remember that God sees everything. He sees the seed you've planted, the prayers you've prayed, and the sacrifices you've made. He sees the hidden acts of kindness, the moments when you've chosen to do the right thing, even when it was hard. He is working through those actions, and He will bring the increase. Just because you don't see the results immediately doesn't mean that God is not at work. Trust that He is using your efforts for His glory, and that He will bring about the fruit in due season. God's work in our lives is also about our transformation. He is always shaping us, refining us, and drawing us closer to His heart. The more we allow God to work in us, the more we become like Him. This transformation is not instantaneous, but a process that takes time. We don't wake up one day as fully matured believers, but each day is an opportunity to become more like Christ. As we yield to His work, He changes our hearts, renews our minds, and strengthens our spirits. This transformation is one of the most powerful ways God is working on our behalf. The more we reflect His character, the more we align with His purpose, and the more we experience His blessings. As you continue on your journey, remember that God is constantly at work in your life. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, and preparing you for the blessings that lie ahead. Don't be discouraged by the difficulties you face. Don't be discouraged by the things you can't see. Trust that God is working on your behalf. He is faithful, He is powerful, and He is always working things together for your good. His work is perfect, and His timing is impeccable. Keep trusting, keep believing, and know that He is always working in your favor. Your breakthrough is coming. The best is yet to come. Keep pressing forward, for God is working on your behalf. The journey of faith is not always easy, and it is filled with challenges, obstacles, and moments when it seems like the road ahead is uncertain. Yet in every circumstance, we must remind ourselves that God is still working on our behalf. His hand is not absent in our difficulties, rather, His presence is more evident in those moments of struggle than we may realize. Often, the challenges we face serve as opportunities for growth and transformation. When we walk through the fire, He is refining us. And when we find ourselves in the wilderness, He is guiding us toward the promised land. It is in these moments that God's work in our lives becomes most apparent. He is not only protecting us from harm, but actively shaping us into the people He has called us to be. Faith, after all, is not just about what we see, it's about what we trust God to do in the unseen. In the spiritual realm, there is much happening that we cannot see, but that doesn't make it any less real. God is at work in our lives every single day, orchestrating events, aligning people, and preparing the way for us to walk into the fullness of His will. Our job is to trust in His process and rely on His timing. Though we may not always understand why certain things are happening, we can be confident that God is working behind the scenes, moving things around for our benefit. In times of trial, it's easy to forget that God is at work. Our vision can become clouded by the storm, and we may find ourselves doubting His presence and His goodness. Yet God's word reminds us time and again that He is with us in the fire, in the flood, and in every moment of our lives. He never leaves us or forsakes us. Even when we feel isolated or abandoned, He is right there walking with us. His work is not always visible, but it is always present. It is often in the quiet moments of our lives, in the moments of stillness, that God does some of His greatest work. We must remember that God's timetable is not our own. His ways are higher than ours, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Just because we can't see what He's doing doesn't mean that He's not doing anything. The waiting periods in our lives are not wasted. They are times of preparation, refinement, and growth. God is working in the waiting, shaping us into the people we need to be in order to walk in the fullness of His promises. Patience and trust in His timing are essential in this process. There may be times when we feel like we are being held back, as though God is delaying our breakthrough or holding us back from the blessings we so desperately desire. In those moments, we must remember that God is never late. He is never behind schedule. His timing is perfect. What we perceive as a delay is often God's way of preparing us for something greater. Just as a seed must be buried in the ground before it can grow into a tree, there are times when we must go through a period of growth and development before we can fully step into the destiny God has for us. This is not a process of punishment, but a process of preparation. God is refining us, stretching our faith, and building our character so that we can handle the blessings He has for us. If we were to receive everything we wanted right now, we might not be ready to handle it. We might not have the maturity or the spiritual strength to manage the responsibilities that come with the blessings God has for us. So in His love, He prepares us, molding us into the people He wants us to become. God is not a distant observer in our lives. He is actively involved in every detail, working behind the scenes to ensure that His perfect will is done in our lives. He is orchestrating events, making connections, and aligning circumstances in ways that we cannot see. Even when we feel like we are in a holding pattern, God is at work. Even in the moments when we feel like nothing is happening, God is preparing the way for us. He is preparing us for the doors He will open, for the opportunities He will bring, and for the breakthroughs He will deliver. Our role in this process is simple trust. Trust that God knows what He is doing, even when we don't understand. Trust that He is working on our behalf, even when we can't see the results. Trust that His plan for our lives is far greater than anything we could imagine. As we trust Him, we begin to see His hand at work in ways we couldn't have anticipated. His work in our lives often comes in unexpected ways, and His provision is often greater than anything we could have asked for. The power of God's work in our lives is not only in the big moments, the breakthroughs, the miracles, and the dramatic events. His work is also found in the small, everyday moments. It's found in the quiet moments of prayer, in the moments of serving others, and in the small acts of obedience. God is at work in every part of our lives, not just in the big visible moments. He is working in the mundane and in the ordinary, preparing us for the extraordinary. As we grow in our relationship with God, we begin to recognize His hand at work in every area of our lives. We begin to see His fingerprints on the details, and we start to realize that nothing happens by chance. Everything in our lives is part of God's divine plan. He is orchestrating every moment, every encounter, and every circumstance for His glory and for our good. One of the most incredible aspects of God's work in our lives is that He uses even our mistakes and failures for His purposes. When we stumble, when we fall, and when we make mistakes, God is still working on our behalf. He is a God of redemption, and He can take even the most broken parts of our lives and use them for His glory. The very things we thought disqualified us from God's plan can become the platforms for His power. God is able to take our pain, our mistakes, and our failures and turn them into something beautiful. He is working even in the darkest moments of our lives, bringing light into the darkness and turning mourning into joy. God's work is not just for our benefit, but for His glory. As He works on our behalf, He is also working through us to impact the world around us. We are called to be vessels of His love, grace, and truth. As God works in us, He empowers us to make a difference in the lives of others. The blessings He pours into our lives are not meant to be hoarded, but to be shared. He works on our behalf so that we can be a blessing to those around us, so that we can be a light in a dark world. We may not always understand the reasons behind the circumstances we face, but we can trust that God is always at work. He is always moving, always orchestrating, always preparing. His work in our lives is not random or haphazard, it is purposeful and intentional. He has a plan for our lives, and every part of our journey is leading us closer to His will. The beauty of God's work in our lives is that it never ends. He is continually shaping us, refining us, and preparing us for greater things. Even in the moments when we feel like we have reached the end of one chapter, God is already working on the next chapter. He is constantly moving us from glory to glory, from strength to strength, and from faith to faith. There is always more that God wants to do in us and through us. His work in our lives is an ongoing process, and as we yield to Him, we continue to grow, learn, and experience His goodness in new and unexpected ways. As you continue on your journey, remember that God is always at work on your behalf. Even in the quiet moments, even in the struggles, and even in the waiting, God is moving behind the scenes. Trust in His plan. Trust in His timing. And know that He is working all things together for your good. The best is yet to come, and the work He is doing in your life is far greater than you can imagine. Keep your eyes fixed on Him, and keep trusting that He is working on your behalf. As we continue to trust in God's plan for our lives, we must remember that His ways are always better than our own. We may not see the full picture, and we may not understand the intricate details of His work, but we can be assured that His purpose is perfect. The beautiful thing about God's work is that it's never done in isolation. He involves us in the process. He doesn't just move in the background and leave us to wonder about His actions. Instead, He invites us to walk with Him, to trust Him, and to believe that He is leading us towards something greater. The work that He is doing in us is not just for us, but for the good of those around us as well. Every time we yield to Him and trust in His timing, we become part of a greater narrative that is unfolding for His glory. The beauty of God's work is that it doesn't rely on our understanding of it. Even when things don't make sense or when they feel like they are falling apart, God is still working, arranging, and preparing things that are beyond our comprehension. We often get caught up in the way we think things should happen, in the timing we expect, and in the answers we anticipate. But God's plan operates on a different level. His perfect plan is often more expansive and more far-reaching than we could ever imagine. He sees things from an eternal perspective, and His ways are designed to bring about the greatest good, not just for us, but for all of creation. We have a choice in how we respond to the situations that arise in our lives. We can either choose to trust in our own strength and understanding or choose to trust in God's perfect will. When we choose to trust Him, we are acknowledging that He is the one who knows what is best for us. We are letting go of our need to control every situation and instead allowing God to lead us, even when we don't fully understand the way forward. Trusting God in these moments may not be easy, but it is in those moments that our faith is strengthened. It is when we are stretched beyond our limits that we experience His provision, His guidance, and His peace in ways we would not have if we had not walked through the trial. God's work in our lives is not always instantaneous. We often want things to happen quickly and we pray for immediate answers, but sometimes His process takes time. It is in the waiting that we are refined. We may grow impatient, but we must trust that His timing is always perfect. While we wait, God is preparing us for what is ahead. He is working behind the scenes in ways we cannot see, laying the foundation for the next season of our lives. It is in the waiting that our hearts are shaped, our character is tested, and our faith is deepened. When we look back at the waiting seasons, we often realize that it was during that time that God was doing His most profound work. We are called to walk by faith, not by sight. This means that we are to trust God even when we cannot see the next step in front of us. We walk in the assurance that God is leading us, that He is guiding us with His wisdom, and that His purpose for us is greater than anything we could ever plan on our own. It is in the unseen that God does His most powerful work. He is always moving, always shaping, always refining, even when we cannot see the progress with our eyes. Our role is to stay faithful, to continue trusting, and to keep our hearts aligned with His will. God is faithful to finish what He starts. If He has begun a good work in you, He will see it to completion. This promise is one we can hold on to, knowing that God will never leave us halfway through the process. He is a God of completion, and everything He begins, He will bring to fulfillment. As we trust in His work in our lives, we can have confidence that He will carry us through every challenge and bring us into the fullness of His promises. When we encounter struggles, it is not a sign that He has abandoned us, rather, it is a sign that He is actively working to bring about His purpose. We must also remember that God's work in our lives isn't just about us. It's about the impact He wants to make through us, The trials we face and the victories we experience are not just for our personal growth, but are meant to be a testimony to others. Our lives are meant to reflect His glory, and the work He does in us is meant to be a beacon of hope to those around us. As God works in our lives, we become vessels of His love, grace, and power. We are called to share the story of His faithfulness, to speak of His goodness, and to be a living testimony of His transformative power. Trusting in God's work means trusting in His ability to do what He says He will do. It means believing that His promises are true, even when we cannot see the end result. It means surrendering our will to His and allowing Him to work in us and through us. It means being patient, waiting on His perfect timing, and believing that He is always moving in our lives, even when we don't see it. As we come to the end of this message, it's important to remember the truth that has been shared. God is working on your behalf. In every season, through every trial and triumph, God's hand is at work, orchestrating a plan that is beyond your comprehension. His ways are higher than our ways, and His timing is perfect. Even when you don't see immediate results, know that He is preparing something greater for you. You are not alone in this journey. God is with you every step of the way, shaping, refining, and guiding you toward His perfect will. Trust in His process, trust in His timing, and trust in His promises. When life seems uncertain, keep your faith strong and hold on to the truth that God is always at work in your life. So hold fast to the belief that God is working on your behalf. Let this truth be a source of hope, strength, and encouragement. Trust that the best is yet to come, and as He completes the work He started in you, you will become a living testimony of His power, love, and faithfulness. Keep walking by faith, knowing that God's perfect plan is unfolding before you. There comes a time in every life when we stand on the edge of a vast divide between what we desire and what seems possible. Logic, reason, and the world around us all tell us that what we want cannot be. The mind, conditioned by years of limitations, tries to persuade us that it's unrealistic, unattainable, or too far out of reach. Yet deep within, there is a voice that whispers of possibilities beyond what the eye can see. That voice, however faint, speaks of a reality that only the heart knows. But how do you hold on to a dream when everything outside of you denies it? How do you nurture faith when reason, facts, and evidence stand against you? It is in these moments of contradiction, when what we see and experience appears to defy what we deeply wish to manifest, that the true power of belief comes alive. It is not the easy belief that comes when everything aligns. It is the unwavering conviction that you must cultivate when everything seems to fall apart. Today I will take you on a journey into the heart of belief, where the power lies not in what is seen, but in what is felt. The outer world may deny your desire, but your inner world has the ability to reshape it entirely. Let us explore the art of holding fast to that vision, even when reason argues otherwise. When the outside says no, let your inner world echo with a louder, stronger yes. This is the power that shapes destinies. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a concept that requires more than just understanding. It demands practice, patience, and unwavering faith. It is not simply imagining that you have achieved your desire, but actually living as if you have already attained it, embodying the emotions and sensations of your fulfilled dream. To truly grasp this idea, you must realize that it goes beyond mere visualization. It is about entering a state of being where your desired outcome feels as real to you as your current reality. The challenge for most people is bridging the gap between the life they are living and the life they want to create. The external world provides evidence that often contradicts the desires of the heart. We see the lack, we experience the frustrations, and we feel the distance between where we are and where we wish to be. But this gap is only as real as we allow it to be. The power lies within you to blur the lines between your present and your desired future by immersing yourself fully in the feeling of already having what you seek. Imagine for a moment that your greatest desire has been fulfilled. How would you feel? What would your day look like? How would you interact with the world? The answers to these questions are not abstract. They are the foundation upon which you build your new reality. To live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to embody those emotions and behaviors right now, regardless of what your current circumstances show you. This practice is not about ignoring reality or pretending that difficulties don't exist. Rather, it's about choosing to prioritize your inner state over the external conditions. When you make the conscious decision to align your thoughts and feelings with the outcome you desire, you begin to shift the energy around you. The world reflects back to you what you believe, not what is currently happening. Your belief becomes the lens through which reality unfolds. This is not an easy practice. It requires consistency and a deep sense of trust in the unseen. The logical mind, trained to rely on facts and evidence, will resist this process. It will argue that you cannot live in a state of abundance when your bank account shows otherwise, or that you cannot feel love when your relationships are strained. But this is where the true power of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled comes in. You must learn to override those thoughts and emotions that contradict your desired state and instead dwell in the certainty that your wish is already a reality. One of the most effective ways to begin this process is through the use of imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It allows you to explore possibilities that are not yet visible to the naked eye. By vividly imagining yourself in the life you desire, you are not simply daydreaming, you are actively creating a new reality. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you consistently feed it. This is why the practice of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is so powerful, because when done consistently, it reprograms your subconscious mind to align with your desired outcome. Take time each day to immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine yourself already living the life you want. Feel the emotions of success, happiness, love, or abundance. Let those feelings wash over you as if they were already present. The key is not just to visualize the details, but to connect emotionally with the experience. Your emotions are the fuel that drives manifestation. When you can feel the joy, peace, or fulfillment of your desired outcome as if it were already true, you are aligning yourself with that reality. There will be times when doubt creeps in, and you may find yourself pulled back into the old patterns of thinking and feeling. This is normal. It is part of the process. The key is to recognize when this happens and gently guide yourself back into the state of fulfillment. Each time you do this, you strengthen your ability to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Over time, it will become easier, and you will notice that your external reality begins to shift in subtle yet powerful ways. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled also requires a level of detachment. This does not mean that you stop caring about your desires, but rather that you release the need to control how and when they will manifest. When you are deeply immersed in the feeling of already having what you desire, you no longer feel the urgency or desperation that often accompanies unfulfilled wishes. You trust that what you seek is already yours, and that it will come to you in the perfect time and way. This detachment allows you to remain calm and centered, even when the outer world does not immediately reflect your inner state. It is important to remember that the outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. If you are constantly focused on what is missing, on the lack or the struggle, that is what will continue to show up in your life. But when you shift your focus to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are sending a powerful signal to the universe that this is your new reality. The more you live in this state, the more the world will conform to match it. Another crucial aspect of this practice is persistence. Manifestation is not an overnight process. It takes time for the outer world to catch up to the inner shift. There may be moments when it feels like nothing is happening, and the temptation to give up will be strong. But this is where persistence comes in. You must continue to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. This unwavering belief is what eventually brings the manifestation into form. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a transformative practice. It challenges you to step beyond the limitations of logic and reason and into the realm of infinite possibilities. It requires you to cultivate a deep sense of trust in your own power to create reality. But once you master this art, you will find that life unfolds in ways you never thought possible. The world will reflect back to you the truth of your inner state, and you will experience the joy and fulfillment of living the life you once only dreamed of. The power of inner conviction is the foundation upon which all manifestations rest. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable, regardless of the external circumstances or the opinions of others. Inner conviction is more than just positive thinking or hope. It is a deep, rooted certainty that transcends doubt and fear. It is the inner knowing that your desires are already yours and that the universe is merely catching up to your belief. At its core, inner conviction is a state of mind where your belief in your desired outcome becomes so strong that it overrides any external evidence to the contrary. This conviction comes from a place deep within, where your true power resides. It is the force that propels you forward, even when everything around you seems to contradict your desires. When you cultivate inner conviction, you tap into a well of strength that allows you to persist through obstacles, setbacks, and delays. The challenge for many people is that they base their beliefs on what they can see and experience in the physical world. They allow their circumstances to dictate their level of faith in their desires. If things aren't going well, they lose hope. If they face obstacles, they begin to doubt whether their dreams are possible. This is where the power of inner conviction becomes crucial. It requires you to shift your focus from the external world to your internal world, to place more value on your belief in the unseen than on the evidence of the seen. Inner conviction is not something that comes overnight. It is a practice, a skill that must be cultivated and nurtured over time. It begins with a decision to believe in yourself and your desires no matter what. This decision must be firm and unwavering, because the external world will often challenge your conviction. There will be moments when things don't seem to be working out, when progress seems slow or non-existent. And it's during these times that your inner conviction will be tested. But this is also when your conviction has the power to grow stronger. The secret to developing inner conviction lies in the understanding that reality is not fixed. The world around you is constantly in a state of flux, responding to your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. What appears as solid and unchangeable is, in fact, malleable and subject to your inner state. When you hold a firm conviction that your desires are already on their way to you, the universe begins to reorganize itself to align with your belief. Circumstances, events, and people will start to shift in ways that bring your desire closer to you. But how do you cultivate this powerful inner conviction? The first step is to become aware of your current beliefs and thought patterns. Are they aligned with what you desire, or are they focused on what you lack? If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or uncertainty, it's important to recognize that these are not reflective of reality, they are simply reflections of past conditioning. The beauty of inner conviction is that it allows you to rewrite these old patterns and replace them with new, empowering beliefs. Once you've identified any limiting beliefs, the next step is to consciously choose new ones. You must begin to tell yourself a new story, one where your desires are not only possible but already on their way to you. This isn't about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something you don't. It's about gently and consistently reinforcing the idea that you are worthy of your desires and that they are attainable. This is where the practice of visualization and affirmation comes into play. When you visualize your desired outcome, you are not just imagining it, you are creating it in the realm of the unseen. The more vividly you can imagine yourself living in the reality of your fulfilled desire, the stronger your conviction will become. Visualization allows you to experience the emotions, sensations, and joy of having what you want, even before it physically manifests. This emotional connection strengthens your inner conviction because your mind begins to accept the reality of your desire as true. Affirmations are another powerful tool for building inner conviction. By repeatedly affirming that your desires are on their way, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to accept this as your new reality. It's important that these affirmations are not just empty words, but statements that you deeply believe. Even if you don't fully believe them at first, with time and repetition, they will begin to take root in your mind and become a part of your belief system. Another key aspect of cultivating inner conviction is learning to detach from the how. One of the biggest obstacles to strong conviction is the tendency to obsess over how your desire will manifest. The mind wants to figure out every step, every detail, and every possible outcome. But this need for control can actually weaken your conviction, because it places the focus on doubt and uncertainty. When you are constantly trying to figure out the how, you are essentially telling yourself that you don't trust the process. To cultivate strong inner conviction, you must learn to let go of the need to control the details. Trust that the universe or the larger forces at play will handle the how. Your only job is to hold the vision of your desire, to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and to trust that the path will reveal itself. This doesn't mean that you sit back and do nothing. It means that you take inspired action when it feels right. But you don't force or manipulate the process. One of the greatest gifts of inner conviction is the sense of peace it brings. When you truly believe in the inevitability of your desires, you no longer feel the need to worry, rush, or struggle. You know that what you seek is already yours, and this allows you to relax into the process. You stop trying to control every aspect of your journey, and instead you allow things to unfold naturally. This state of calm and trust is not only more enjoyable, but also more powerful, because it aligns you with the flow of the universe. The power of inner conviction lies in its ability to transform both your inner and outer world. When you hold firm in your belief, when you refuse to be swayed by circumstances or appearances, you become a powerful creator of your own reality. The world will bend to match your inner state, and what once seemed impossible will become inevitable. The key is to believe so deeply, so fully, that nothing can shake your conviction, not even reason, logic, or the doubts of others. This is the true power of inner conviction, and it is available to anyone who is willing to claim it. Mastering the art of imagination is a powerful key to unlocking the life you desire. Imagination is not just a tool for daydreaming or escaping reality, it is the creative force behind everything that manifests in your world. Every great achievement, every invention, every work of art, and every fulfilled desire begins with imagination. When you learn to consciously direct this inner power, you hold the ability to transform your circumstances, reshape your life, and bring your desires into physical form. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the gateway through which you access infinite possibilities. It is where all creation starts. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, letting it be guided by past experiences, fears, and limiting beliefs. But when you master the art of imagination, you take control of this creative faculty, using it to mold your future rather than being shaped by your past. To truly understand the power of imagination, you must first realize that it is not limited by your current circumstances or the physical world. Imagination allows you to step beyond the boundaries of what seems possible and explore new realities. Through imagination, you can access experiences, emotions, and states of being that have not yet manifested in the material world. This is important because the mind does not distinguish between real experiences and imagined ones. To your subconscious, what you vividly imagine is just as real as what you perceive with your senses. The key to mastering